Charm Chats with Kendra and Kat. Just a couple of girls talk about this and that. Getting familiar with Blue and the charmed ones too. Charm Chats.
Welcome to Charm Chats. We're at episode 108. What?
Isn't that great?
I'm so excited.
Blue, your ear is getting knobbed.
No,
Is your ear getting knobbed?
that one's at a bad angle.
For all you listeners at home, Kat couldn't get to Blue's other ear, so she pushed it into her mouth with her finger.
I did, because it was funny. Yes. Oh, thank you for kisses. Now I'm going to sneeze, because now I've had a blue ear in my nose as well.
Yep, that's my life. Okay, we should probably start talking about the episode now.
Yes. Alright, so, because who knows how much of this I'm going to cut out. If you support us on Patreon, you might get a snippet of some of the stuff that we chat about
So many fucking snippets.
that gets cut out. Because all you have to do is go to patreon.com/charmchads and, help us out a little. We'll be eternally grateful, and you might get some interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are many.
Some Blue-related material.
Yeah, because, there was that time he farted on my face. That was funny. So, we are at episode 108. It is entitled, The Truth is Out There, and It Hurts.
Which I thought was a nice X-Files reference for what started off as a very science fiction-y episode.
Yeah, it works for the episode.
Yeah.
It definitely works for the episode. But it's a weird episode. It's the first time they do, time travel.
Yeah.
Or they talk about time travel, I should say.
Time travel is mentioned.
Yeah. But, it's a weird episode.
Yeah. I mean, it also brings up a lot of my issues with causal timelines.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
We'll talk about that as we go.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot about time travel. Oh boy, do I.
Well, yes. I mean...
Me being me.
Yes. And me being a Doctor Who fan, I think about time travel all the time.
This is fair.
Yeah. Right, Blue?
Yeah.
So much hair. It just gets everywhere.
That's just how it is.
Yep. It gets everywhere. Because today I dressed for the heat as opposed to the blue.
Yeah.
Next week I will remember this fact.
Yep.
And wear something more blue friendly.
Good luck on that.
I know, right? I'll have to find a white shirt. At least then the hair won't show up. Right, Blue? Right? Do you enjoy me doing this to your leg?
He doesn't seem to be against it.
Covered.
Yep.
Head to toe.
That's life.
Covered head to toe. As we have said before, though I may have cut it out last time we said it. But if you go to someone's house and they have a dog, and you do not leave covered in dog hair...
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. You did not have a good time. Unless you're allergic to dogs, and therefore have to stay away from the dog. In which case, I feel so bad for you, and I'm so sorry.
Yes. I would
But,
do that too.
I feel that way, because there are cats in this house, and I did not take a Benadryl today, and I'm allergic to cats, so that I could not even touch the cats. So I understand that logic. Alright, so, The Truth is Out There, and It Hurts, aired November 25th, 1998. We're so close to the end of 98.
Uh-huh.
I can taste it. We're getting there.
Can you actually taste it?
I can actually taste it.
What does it taste like?
It tastes like tears and regret. Which isn't completely true, because...
For me, it tastes like princess birthday parties.
Well, to be completely honest, the end of 1998, to me, actually tasted like chemotherapy and radiation. So,
Yeah, and you would actually know what that tastes like.
Yeah. And November of 98 would have just been radiation at that point, so I was almost cancer-free by the time this episode aired. I was going through my last bits of radiation, because I did radiation for the entire month of November.
You remember with the Madre, we had her on chemo and radiation at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it was clear that it was definitely doing more harm than good, they're just like, we'll stop that.
Yeah, see, I had chemo from April to October, and then the entire month of November was radiation. Which is why I had my lovely little black dot on my chest. My little tattoo dot. because that's where the center of the radiation was.
Right.
And it was really funny because I remember when the lady was putting the ink into the needle to give me my dot, she goes, "No, I cannot do a rose or a heart. It needs to just be a dot." And I hadn't said anything, and I'm like...
She probably gets that all the time.
Yeah, all the time, and I was just like, okay, I just want to make sure, is it gonna hurt? Like, that's my... Like, I just don't want it to hurt. I don't give a shit what, where it is or why it's happening, if it's just gonna be a dot. It's like, it will be permanent, I get that. I don't have a problem with that. Constant reminder, okay, not like I'm not gonna have that, But I'm like, I don't want it to be a heart or a rose. Fuck that. Give me the goddamn dot that's gonna save my life, alright? I'm good with that. Which is why I am perfectly happy with it. Oh, thank you for kisses, boo. Thank you. So.
La.
Tea.
Right there.
Dough?
No, that's my tea cabinet. It's my nightstand.
I love that your nightstand is a tea cabinet.
It was just convenient. There's no place to put it in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And granted, the other tea boxes are now under the bed.
Yeah, it's a tiny kitchen. We are in our new set location. In our second... Technically, this would be our third set, because in the last house we were in the kitchen first.
Yeah.
And then in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're in a bedroom.
Yes.
And eventually...
Hopefully.
We will be in a basement again.
Yes.
Alright, so we start out the episode. We get a lovely nighttime skyline scene with the triangle building.
Yes.
I like it at night. It's pretty at night.
It is.
It's just nice. And we have a parking lot. And then,
parking structure.
well, it's like a car park. It's just, it's like a,
Well, it's
a parking garage,
yes.
I guess.
And they're never not creepy in film and TV.
Yeah, absolutely. They're
only non-creepy...
They're really never not creepy in life in general.
The only non-creepy parking garage thing I can remember from ever is Civil War, where they just, all meet up and decide to get changed into their uniforms.
Yeah. Captain America.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. So, we have a man in an ill-fitting brown suit.
Yes. Clearly walking to his car.
Yep. With a squared-off tie.
Don't know.
The fuck was
Do
that?
not know. No.
And holding a briefcase, because, he's got to be a businessman, right?
Of some sort.
Yep. He walks by, gets stopped by another man in a less ill-fitting black suit. Like, the pants are too big on him, but other than that, it wasn't too bad. Like the suit jacket was tailored not too bad to him. Like, it wasn't necessarily, tailored, but it was, it fit him better.
It was Taylor Swifted.
Oh, God. I really think that our show has, a built-in drinking game. You Deserve a Drink from Mamrie Hart.
Yeah.
On YouTube. If you go back and listen, and every time you hear a really bad pun, you take a drink. It's kind of how...
Do it at your own discretion, though.
Yeah.
Because...
Some episodes are
Maybe
choose
others. Something perhaps a little less alcoholic.
Yes. Like water. Or tea.
Yeah. Or root beer.
Sarsaparilla.
Yeah.
Or sassafras. I love sassafras. You can get sassafras at the Bristol Renaissance Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing.
It's beautiful.
It's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't get it, anywhere else. You can get sarsaparilla in bottles.
I have some sassafras tea.
Yeah, but sassafras tea and sassafras soda, not the same thing. So, less ill-fitting black suit guy calls ill-fitting brown suit guy by name.
And he does this the entire time. He always does the James Bond thing every time.
Yes.
Are you Bono? Butter?
I totally thought you just said, are you Bono? Are you Bono? You two's Bono? Oh, man.
Boy.
Alright.
Yes.
Gotta try not to laugh and bounce, because we're totally gonna bounce this. So, less ill-fitting black suit guy calls ill-fitting brown suit guy by his name.
Confirming, hey, are you this person?
Yes. So we learn his name is Dr. Oliver Mitchell, and less ill-fitting black suit guy is already being creepy.
Yes.
But I shall not call him Creepy McCreeperson, because that name has already been taken.
Yes.
So we'll just call him Creepy Guy, or Creepy Dude, until we learn his name. Which...
Creep Throat.
Oh, Kendra.
Because this is an X-Files reference episode.
Oh, Kendra, I love you. Alright.
Creep Throat.
Creep Throat.
Like
I will probably still call him Creepy Dude, because that's what I have in my notes.
Make an effort.
I will try. Actually, hold on.
Oh, you're going to find and replace?
I will find and replace. Okay, hold on.
Okay. Now that we have changed his name to Creep Throat in your notes.
Yes. Though I may still call him Creepy Dude once in a while. But,
I will correct you when you do.
alright, so, we're calling him Creep Throat until we learn his name, which, to be completely honest, I don't think we ever do.
We don't. Because I watched it again last night to actually take the notes. He never says it.
Yeah. I do not believe we ever get his name, even though...
On IMDb, he's listed as, what, Gavin?
Gavin, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They gave him the name of Gavin, but they never actually call him that.
I don't know why you would give a character a name and never use it.
I know not.
Like, this is just part of backstory. People use the name once. Somehow. Just do it.
Yep. But no, we never actually get his name. Anyway, so Dr. Mitchell wants to know if they've met, and the dude in the black suit, Creep Throat, as we are now calling him, says, only in print, which in and of itself, super creepy.
I mean, the line itself, I don't find that specific sentence creepy, but he makes it creepy.
Yes.
He is Creep Throat. Everything that comes from his throat is creepy.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, so the dude in the black suit says, only in print, in a kind of creepy way, and that his studies specifically on cell degeneration are ahead of their time.
Ta ha 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 ha. Hello. What is this episode about? I think we might know from this line.
Yeah, a little bit. Doc tries to get to his car. Creep Throat blocks him with one of the weirdest lines. You've become kind of a hobby of mine.
Yep. Creepy.
Just so creepy. So creepy. So, apparently he found his article on the mutant retina gene particularly intriguing.
Which is strange, because, as
It
we learned
hasn't
from
even
Dr.
been
Mitchell,
published yet.
hasn't been published yet.
Yeah.
Gee, you think this is a time travel episode yet?
Mm-hmm. And we also get a little glimpse with that one line in particular of where we're going with this.
Yeah,
But we
little
don't
bit.
know it yet, because we haven't actually shown it yet, which I'm kind of happy about. Like, I'm glad that they give us
Yeah.
a bit where they haven't shown it. So we learned that the article on mutant retina gene hasn't been published yet, but that Dr. Mitchell will help find the vaccine.
What vaccine?
Against what? Against this! And then a laser beam.
We only get the reverse shot.
Yeah, we only
of
get...
Dr. Mitchell as a laser beam bores into his forehead.
It's small and blue.
Yes.
And
And
tiny.
Dr. Mitchell screams, and then his eyes smoke out.
And they turn white.
Yes.
And then he drops his keys to the ground. You know, as you do when you're dying.
Yeah.
And then we cut to a movie theater. We get a lovely outside shot of the movie theater. And the movie on the marquee is Love's Deadly Desire, which,
Would have
according
been a
to...
lot more appropriate for episode 5.
Yes, absolutely. But, according to IMDb, which is where I get a lot of my trivia, not all of it, but a lot of it, Love's Deadly Desire could be a reference to two of Holly Marie Combs' films, Love's Deadly Triangle and Chain of Desire.
I think it probably was.
So, there's that.
They both came out before this, didn't they?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Chain of Desire was in 1992,
Wow.
and Love's Deadly Triangle,
I think I saw that one.
The Texas Cadet Murder,
I did see that one. Oh, right,
was
right.
1997.
Greenish brown female sheep.
What?
It's a line. I remember seeing this, and there was like a line that the two of them had between each other where they would say greenish brown female sheep. All of you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That stuck with me, apparently.
Apparently. I understand all of you.
Yes.
I get
but
that.
they changed it to greenish brown female sheep. Which is something I would do. Just to make things a lot more complicated. Because I named a centipede Juniper and a dog Centipede.
Hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so Love's Deadly Triangle, The Texas Cadet Murder was 1997.
Yes, that one I saw.
So there you go. And Phoebe walks in, holding tickets in her left hand, and a magic 8-ball in her right hand.
Shaking the 8-ball.
She
And then when
gets-
she turns it around, somehow her hand has been reversed.
Yeah, gotta love those continuity errors.
Oh yeah, I knew you'd catch that one.
Mm-hmm. And it says, ask me again later. Now here's my thing. She never actually said a question out loud.
That we saw.
But she
was shaking it when she came into frame.
Yeah.
So I assumed she had asked a question.
I guess so. So she shakes it, gets asked again later, and then she says a very fun line of, hello, vague. How am I supposed to plan my future without a little direction? which was cute. And Prue says, "You, who can see the future, is now looking for a magic 8-ball?" And Phoebe reminds her that her visions don't help her, because, you know...
They can't.
They can't. And now, of course, because I'm me, we get their outfits. Prue is in a red shirt and jeans with a black jacket. Piper is in a black top and tan jacket. Didn't see her pants. And Phoebe is wearing a purple top with black jacket. And I really liked her hair. Like, it was flippy and flowy. It looked really nice. Like, I made a note of it because it was just so cool looking.
Yeah.
It's like it looked like it was freshly washed, freshly cut. That kind of like... But it just looked really nice on her. And it wasn't pulled back in any sort of weird, like, clippy way that she does later on with the pink clip in her hair. I just, that, like, half...
Little butterfly clip.
Yeah, like half pulled up and clipped on top of her head.
It's it out of your face.
I know, and it's a very 90s way to do that, too, of, like, just put this butterfly clip on top of your head. I don't know, whatever. So, Piper says, "Why don't we ask the 8-ball if Prue and Andy will get back together?" And, of course, Prue's like, "No, please don't." Phoebe shakes the 8-ball because she can't help herself. Right, Blue? And then comes within... Ooh,
yeah, they both make a big deal of how interesting this answer is. And as Prue is trying to round the 8-ball to see what it says, Phoebe shakes it.
You are cruel.
Yes, this was a very cute sister moment.
It was a very cute
I love
sister
that they are trying to have a sister's night out.
Yeah, it was cute. But Piper's pager beeps. And Piper says to ask the magic 8-ball what a day off feels like, which was kind of funny. Because apparently it was her boss, Martin, wanting her back at the restaurant. Now here's my thing. So we've never heard of Martin before.
We never knew she even had a boss.
Yeah. Well, we did, but her boss was he of the phony accents, Chef Moore, and he's gone now. So apparently somehow Martin is her boss. But my first thought was, oh crap, what's going to happen to Martin? Because we've never heard of him before and they've given him a name.
Well, he was the first one in the episode to get a name who we've never heard of before. That was Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell.
True. But my first thought was they've given a name to a new character that we don't know, so something is going to happen to him.
Of course.
Because that's the way that goes in this show 90% of the time. So, apparently there's a convention in town, and so business is crazy at the restaurant, and Phoebe says that she worked a double shift the day before, and the day before that.
So clearly there's no night manager, or there's no other manager.
No, clearly not. And Prue says that, I thought you were going to talk to him about this, and she says she never got around to it. And she pulls out her cell phone, because now, as we learned couple episodes back, now she has a cell phone, which is the tiny little black one.
Yeah. Tiny little flip phone thing.
Tiny little flip phone. Which I think was one of the first flip phones in existence at the time. Like
Possibly.
It was, not like that specific phone, but there was only a couple of styles of cell phone back in the 90s. So Phoebe tells her to tell him to stuff it, which is a very younger sister line. Yeah. And she says, you're right, I will. As soon as she gets on the phone, no, it's not a problem, I'll be right there. Because she just can't.
No, Piper, this era Piper is not good at confrontation at all.
Yeah, no, she's still learning. And she learns it a little later, and it's good.
But it does take her the entire episode.
It does.
More
but,
or less.
though I did like the little, again, the cute sister moment of Prue being like, wow, you told him. And Phoebe, beware the wrath of Piper, which just made me laugh. Mm-hmm. It still makes me laugh, just reading that as text.
What I had written in my notes for this moment was, no, she won't, and she doesn't.
Yep, absolutely.
Also, there's for some reason, every time the camera is on Prue, her face is in soft focus.
Well,
it's weird.
Who knows what Shannon had in her contract.
Yeah. That also could have been a reshoot, because it wasn't happening when there were other people in the shot with her.
Could be. Don't know. So, Piper says she's gotta go. She starts to walk off. And Phoebe's like, wait, I'll walk you to the car. It's safer. And Prue's just like, okay, I'll wait here. Which, again, it was a very sister-like thing, right?
Yeah.
So, as Phoebe is walking past people, she bumps into Creep Throat and has a vision of a woman getting a blue laser to the forehead. She tells Piper that she's just had this premonition that a woman is about to get murdered. And then a police car with its sirens goes crazy and drives into the car park.
So naturally, Phoebe starts running for it.
Of course.
And Piper follows.
Absolutely. And when they get there, Prue was behind them, even though she wasn't anywhere near them
Yeah.
a second before.
Well, they weren't exactly far off. They were maybe half a block down.
I understand that.
But of
But
course,
it should have taken her a little bit longer to get there.
This is true.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm. But I just love that Prue knew to come running. She hears the siren. She knows shit's up. She knows her sister's going to be involved.
Absolutely. So, they see Dr. Mitchell lying on the ground with a hole burnt into his head. But, continuity error, his eyes are normal instead of white. Because someone forgot to CGI that shit!
But that's none of our business.
Insert Kermit the Frog drinking tea. So, Piper says that Phoebe saw this murder before it happened, but Phoebe's like, no, I think I saw the next one.
Well, also, she told Piper, I saw
It was
a
a
girl
woman.
getting murdered.
But,
and
you
then
know-
they come across a guy, and Piper's like, oh my god, Phoebe saw this. No, Phoebe told you what she saw. This was not it.
Yeah. Like, no, I think I saw the next one. And then we get the opening credits. And there's no Daryl this episode, which is,
He's mentioned, though.
he is talked to off screen. So we don't actually see him, but he is mentioned. And then after the opening credits, of course, we get a bridge scene, because we can't forget where we are. And we have an exterior shot of the Halliwell Manor. And I have noticed something
The
that I
side
have
door?
never seen before. There was like a swan thing in front of the door. It looked like a horse hitch that was painted to look like a swan. I don't remember ever seeing it before. I took a picture. It's up on the website with this episode link. So then we cut to the kitchen. And Piper, who is wearing this like blue or purple, I couldn't really tell, long sleeve top that is fuzzy.
I loved it.
I loved it so much.
It was a fuzzy sweater.
It was a fuzzy sweater and black slacks. She's making coffee. Phoebe comes in wearing a pink long sleeve top and black
It's like
slacks.
a three-quarter sleeve boat neck thing.
Yeah, it was a little boat necky.
Yeah, I actually wrote down those outfits.
Yeah, it was a little boat necky with black slacks. She grabs 3 boxes of cereal and a bowl off the counter and brings them over to the island.
You know why she did that? Because it's her cereal, Piper's cereal, and Prue's cereal. Because this entire scene is just establishing how sisterly they're all being. Piper is making coffee for everyone. When Prue comes in to get the paper, she takes out the other sections that the two are going to use.
No, I get that. But I don't think it's for them. Because if you actually watch the scene, she pours all 3 cereals into one bowl.
Or that.
So she's making cereal for herself. But this is where my brain went, because I have just started playing Pokemon Go. And I say just started as in I played for 3 days and now I'm done. But the 3 boxes of cereal that she picks up
Are off-brand.
Are-
Not
well,
even off-brand, they're fake brand.
they're fake brand. But
fake brand Fruit Loops, Rice Krispies, and something else.
well, the other one was just Corn Puffs.
Oh, yes.
So it was just Corn
Corn
Puffs.
Pops. No, fake brand Corn Pops.
Sure.
Like with the rooster.
Okay. But I just thought it was funny, because I played Pokemon Go for like 3 days. The boxes she picked up were red, blue, and yellow.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Team Blue. Go Team Mystic. But she grabs the red box first, which is Crisp Crunch.
Oh, so it's probably knockoff Life.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. But the yellow box is Corn Puffs, and the blue box is Crisp Rice. In case you wanted to know, which I know you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I noticed the crisp rice, and I'm like, hey, where's Krispies?
But yeah.
Yeah. But
Pokemon
then-
Go, man.
Yeah.
It's
And then
just ruined.
and then Prue walks in with the paper, and she starts taking out the other sections for everyone else, Life and Style, and the classifieds, because Phoebe.
Yep.
Very subtle, Prue.
Yep. But Prue's outfit was actually kind of cool. It was like a dark gray skirt with like a white flower on the front and a slit in the back, because she can't
Yeah.
not have a slit. A light gray cable knit sweater
With a drawstring collar.
that wasn't tied. It was
No,
just down.
never
It was
tied.
like the longest fucking drawstring I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And-
And it had no purpose because there's no hood.
True. Well, I think the purpose was it's like a little to keep it on. It was more like just a tie, like to tie at the neck, bow, like a cape kind of thing. But underneath the light gray,
Which I
cable
didn't
knit
notice. I did
sweater-
not notice that at first. I just said light blue. It looked blue on Netflix.
Alright.
Light blue cable knit sweater set.
Yes.
Because that was all I
However-
noticed.
However,
until
because
later.
yes, yeah, because as she walks in, she's carrying the paper in front of her.
Yeah.
It isn't until she goes to grab her coffee cup from the island.
Oh, I didn't even notice it then. I didn't notice it until she got a sandwich.
Oh yeah, no. I noticed it when she grabs the coffee cup from the island. That
We
the little
discover
gray
That the
top underneath.
the tank is
a crop top.
It's a tube top.
Yeah.
Presumably, we never get to see straps. It is a cable knit tube top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like you said, she walks over to the table, takes out the lifestyle and classified sections, and then sits down to read and drink her coffee. Prue asks Piper if the coffee is leaded.
Which, okay, there was a lot of weird DAS metaphor about the coffee, and I don't understand it. Does that mean caffeinated?
Yes.
Okay, it's the morning, why would you not make caffeinated coffee?
Because not everybody likes caffeinated coffee. Not everybody needs caffeine. I haven't had caffeine in
I mean, yeah,
years.
I get that, but like, neither Piper nor Phoebe drink caffeinated coffee?
Apparently not.
As we discover later.
As we discover later, yeah. But Prue asks if it's leaded, and Piper says it always is. And then Piper, in handing a mug of coffee to Phoebe, knocks the red box of cereal off the table. She freezes it before it hits the ground, and we have a lovely touch of some CGI cereal pieces falling out of the box for some reason. But then she does a thing that I understand that they did it as we have the freezing powers, okay. She places a trash can vaguely underneath the cereal box before it unfreezes. And then
She could have just picked it up.
and then, a la convenience due to the box being CGI, it falls perfectly into the bin without spilling.
Yeah.
But why didn't she just pick up the box instead of throwing it out? Wouldn't that have been the easier thing to do? Wouldn't it have been the most cost-effective thing to do?
I think that would be personal gain, Kat.
But see,
I'm joking.
no, I know, but I understand that logic. But, like, seriously, just save the cereal from hitting the ground instead of throwing it out. I don't get it. Especially since later on that cereal comes back. You know, the next fucking day there's more cereal. They didn't go to the grocery store.
That we know of.
What'd she do? Pick it up out of the trash can? Like, I don't understand. But, whatever. So then Leo walks into the kitchen, wearing a gray shirt, jeans, and his tan jacket.
Stand construction worker's jacket.
Yes. And says, good morning to them, and that working on the staircase shouldn't be more than 2 days of work. And Piper says, get you some coffee, and then her pager goes off. And Phoebe chimes in with the, oops, you're busy, I'll get it. Be right there, Leo. It was cute. And I love the fact that as Leo leaves the kitchen, he's kind of laughing to himself. It was like, okay, whatever.
This is the routine.
Yep. And so Phoebe gets a mug from the cabinet, and Piper checks her pager. And Prue asks when they're going to stop fighting over him and grow up. And then you see Phoebe and Piper fighting over the coffee cup.
Yeah.
And Piper says when Phoebe realizes she doesn't have a chance with him, which kind of is what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. Piper goes to pour the coffee into the mug as Phoebe is pouring the creamer into the mug at the same time. Phoebe says it doesn't really matter. She has to go protect the innocent.
And Piper does that grimace smile after saying, we'll call a truce, okay?
Yeah. Temporarily.
Blue agrees.
Absolutely. But yeah, she goes, I'll just take this to Leo, and does that like cute little wrinkled nose thing.
Yeah.
So cute. So then she grabs the mug, her pager, and the jacket and the dry cleaning off the back of a chair, and gives that little smile to Prue of like, I win this round kind of smile. It was super cute. And then Prue tells Phoebe that she's only into Leo because Piper is. And
Phoebe
is
replies, very miffed about that.
That is so not true. I'm wounded. It was the best line read ever. I loved it. It was great. She asks if there's anything in the paper about the murder, and Prue says there's nothing that can help them. So Phoebe's at a loss as to who the girl in her vision is. And Prue asks what she looked like.
She goes, 5'3", light-ish hair.
Yeah.
Which, how did she get height from that vision?
You
You only see her face.
Yep, who knows? No idea. And Prue is like, that's it? She goes, well, it's not a videotape. I can't exactly rewind it. Which made me smile, because yes, videotapes.
Yeah, that is a reference that would not happen now.
Yeah. But then Phoebe tells Prue that she needs to talk to Andy, because if she can't find the girl, then she has to find the killer.
Prue, of course, refuses to talk to Andy because they've only just broken up. It'll be weird.
Yeah, it'll be awkward, So Prue asks if Phoebe's checked the Book of Shadows, because it sounds like it could be demonic.
Phoebe completely avoids the question.
Absolutely. And says, that, well, maybe Andy already knows who the killer is, And we get the cute moment back and forth of Prue says she can't and Phoebe says she won't, which was kind of cute. And then, because Prue thinks it might be awkward because she and Andy have broken up, Phoebe says that she'll go see Andy
as long as Prue looks in the Book of Shadows.
Right. And then we cut to the attic. And Prue is there looking through the Book of Shadows, which is back on its book stand.
And apparently it has chapter headings
Yeah.
for different types of evil they might encounter.
Yep.
Such as, in this example,
Demons, which has a bookmark in it, which is a black bookmark in the page. Prue flips a couple of pages, gets discouraged because she has no idea what she's actually looking for, completely closes the book and starts walking toward the door.
Well, she says, I have no idea what I'm looking for, which, as we know from previous episodes, is the key to making the book tell you what you're looking for. So as she is walking toward the door, the book flips back open onto a random page, not the page that Prue left off on.
Yes.
Prue hears it slap open, walks back over, and sees it's opened to Truth Spell.
Yeah.
With some funky pink and purple looking nun.
Yeah, it was
drawing on the
weird.
page.
But here's where we get a lovely continuity error. In the wide shot, it has flipped open to the Truth Spell, and the bookmark at that page, because there's a bookmark at that page, is tan. When we get to the insert shot, the bookmark is black.
Of course.
Because there's no continuity master on this fucking show.
Nope.
Grr.
It might get better in future seasons. It might.
It might. I honestly don't remember. It's been a while.
I doubt it, but it might.
It might. So, whatever. So, she turns back to the demons page, and it turns back to the Truth Spell right in front of her. And somehow she's just mildly confused by this.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Shuts the book and leaves the attic. And as she just makes it out of the door, and we still see her shadow in the hall, the book opens back up to the spell page of the Truth Spell. And it's like the third page in the book. Like, again, it's super close to the top of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure. Why not? Whatevsies. Then we cut to Quake. And now, since I mentioned it in the past episode about the women in the tan jacket and the floral skirt,
Yep.
You can't help but notice her, right? I'm sorry about that, but you must live in this pain with me. Live in it. Live in it. And then can we also notice that valet parking is only $2?
Oh,
the 90s.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful 90s.
Gas was consistently under $2.
Gas was consistently under $1 in the 90s.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's why I would time travel.
Yeah. It was amazing.
As long as I could have unleaded, but I think they fixed that in, what, like the 70s?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Unleaded was before my time.
Yeah.
I remember I went to New Orleans in 2001, and I remember being so excited because gas was 98 cents.
That's beautiful.
It was amazing.
I want to live in that world.
I know, right? It was a lovely time. But Priuses weren't around yet.
This is true.
And I love me my Prius.
Yeah.
So I could have a Prius and gas only being 98 cents. I'd be all about it. Anyway, so inside Quake, we see that the place is packed full of people wearing name badges. And
Piper is at the bar, trying to communicate with someone on the phone about the fact that they need more tabletops because guy spills his wine all over her book. She goes, "Wine! Oh, no."
yeah.
She was clearly going to say, "Oh, shit."
Yeah, absolutely. And she's now in her little white button-up shirt, which is what I'm assuming was in the dry cleaning bag that she pulled off the chair, because it's the only thing that makes sense. And so then a man wearing a pretty nicely tailored three-piece brown suit
Yes.
walks up to Piper.
And I have written, "Who is this dingus?"
Dingus.
Yes.
That's funny.
This possibly closeted gay dingus.
Closeted? Well, it was the 90s.
Yeah. He's wearing a three-piece suit,
He is.
and he's doing that thing with his hands.
Yes.
Which, granted, I hate to stereotype, but that's kind of code.
Especially on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he says that he needs the space she's using for the customers.
She's barely taking up any space.
Yeah.
She has one person's worth of space that was only encroached upon because someone fucked up next to her.
Absolutely. But he asked why she isn't in the manager's office, and she's like, "You took my desk." My question there was, does she mean that he took it away, or that he is now using it?
I think it's probably that he is using it.
Okay, because I couldn't figure out exactly what the wording there was.
He probably commandeered the desk and refuses to let her use it now.
Which is funny, because
there's no reason he would take it out of there. That would take away precious time.
Yeah, I don't
Out
know.
of what is clearly his busy schedule of making Piper do all of the things.
Mm-hmm. So we learn this man is her boss, Martin.
And I'm guessing he's the owner?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would make sense.
Well, later she says, "Your restaurant."
Yeah, so that would make sense. That either he bought the restaurant from Chef Moore, or he was the one who's always on the restaurant.
I don't think Chef Moore was the owner. I think he was just the chef.
I don't know.
Like, head chef gets to hire other chefs, which is how Piper got in there. And maybe he was originally going to take over a more managerial position and then skipped out because he didn't want to do that fucking shit. Mm-hmm. So.
Could be. So yeah, he tells her to go somewhere else, saying that he has a restaurant full of conventioneers, which I thought was a very funny word.
That is a funny word.
Yeah. That he ran out of white corn chowder, and that he needs her to get a hold of produce pronto. Which again...
And she was just dealing with the tablecloth people.
Yeah. She asked about the books, which is apparently what she was doing, trying to, balance the books. And he says he can take them home with her. That she can take them home with her. And then he has a line of, I come back after 3 weeks and the place is chaos. Where was he for 3 weeks? Like,
vacation.
Yeah, but like...
Gaycation.
On a staycation. We haven't heard about him at all. Staycation. Yeah, it could be. But whatever. Piper tries to be assertive and she just can't do it, so she backs down. And then we cut to Buckland. And Prue is sitting at her desk.
Looking longingly at a... Is that a leather-bound photo frame?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Of
a leather-bound photo frame of her and Andy that is front and center on her desk, and it is very large.
It is quite large. It's taking up a lot of real estate on a small desk. Phoebe knocks on the door and asks to borrow Prue's laptop so she can surf the web.
Because in this day and age, they don't have a computer at home.
Correct. She needs to see if she can find anything about the burns on the victim's forehead. And she's wearing what seems to be the same pink shirt as earlier.
But now she's wearing jeans with turned up...
cuffed ankles and her brown leather jacket. Why did she change her pants? What?
Were we sure that they were black in the previous scene? It might have just have been the lighting.
No. I rewound to make sure they were black.
How long did this episode take you to watch?
8 hours.
Oh my god. That's insane.
Well, it wasn't like 8 contiguous hours. Like, it was over an 8-hour period is how long it took. Because I started watching it like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I stopped watching it like 11 o'clock. I finished watching it at 11. So yeah, over an 8-hour period. I got all my notes.
Mm-hmm. Phoebe comes in to ask Prue for her laptop to borrow it. And Prue is... for some reason, surprised. She is assuming that Phoebe is so not tech-savvy.
Yeah.
And Phoebe says, oh my god, chat room
saved my life. But she doesn't go into any more detail. I wanted more detail. Like, what chat rooms were you in?
Chat rooms for lonely early 20-somethings in New York.
Yes. And I also like the little wry smile that Prue gave as she goes to get the laptop. It was kind of funny. But she hands the laptop bag to Phoebe and asks if she talked to Andy. To which Phoebe's like, no, I spoke to his partner instead. And Prue's like,
you told
slightly
Morris?
upset. Yeah, like she's like slightly upset about it. But I think it was more of a like, I couldn't tell if it was more that she was upset that she told Morris or that she, that she talked to Daryl, or that she didn't talk to Andy. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't really tell what her upset really was.
I thought the upset was more about, oh my god, Morris knows that Andy and I broke up and I don't want to talk to him?
Yeah, I don't know. But Phoebe comes back with the line of, about the case, I didn't have to, because every inspector in the station was talking about it.
Because we have inspectors.
Yeah, which I thought was very funny. But apparently they're all stumped. They have no idea. And Phoebe asks if Prue found anything in the Book of Shadows, and she says she's not sure. Then she wonders that Phoebe didn't see Andy at all, and she goes, I didn't talk to Andy, but I saw him in the parking lot.
And Prue, he had that look.
Yeah. Which you might recognize from the mirror. Yeah. It's just a little over the top, but whatever. So she says, that I could tell he really cares about you, and she basically is like, I know this information already, tell me something I don't know. And Phoebe asks what she's waiting for, that she should just tell him the truth, and Prue's like, I can't do that, he might not be able to handle it.
This isn't a movie about military infractions, this is real life, Prue.
I love the line, Phoebe has a very funny line of, he's not going to turn you into the Warlock police. Which is just...
I somehow missed that line.
Oh, it was funny. It was very funny. But she tells Prue she should figure out some way to tell him, and she leaves. And as she leaves the door wide open, even though it was closed when she came in. Which made me wonder a little bit if that was just a moment of convenience for the next scene, or if it was like a little nod to siblings not closing bedroom doors when they leave.
Probably both.
A little bit of both. And then we get a woman with a cooler and a basket on a dolly comes into the doorframe and knocks, asking Prue if she wants a sandwich. And she has a cute little shirt with butterflies on it.
Yep.
Super cute.
Adorable.
With a tan jacket that is shorter than the shirt, jeans, and a brown apron around her waist. And Prue says, sure. And then we learn that her name is Tanya. And again, I have a bad feeling about this because brand new character never seen before and gets a name.
Well, no. You see her when she walks in, and you're like, shit, that's the girl.
See, I'll be honest, I didn't notice it right away because I was focused on the butterfly shirt.
I noticed it mostly because of the hair.
Yeah.
And because I've seen this before. I don't know if I noticed it immediately then, but it was more of a, that makes more sense for the door to be open then, because no sooner has Phoebe walked out of frame than Tanya walks in.
Yes.
And you're like, oh shit, Phoebe, come back. But you can't because you're not in the show.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's why I say, it's like I didn't notice it right away, and I didn't remember it from watching this years ago. But it took me a moment to realize that Tanya was the victim. Because my first thought was, cute butterfly shirt. And then my second thought was, oh crap, she's been given a name and we don't know who she is. And then I was like, oh shit, that's the chick from the Vision. From the Premonition. Like, that's how my brain step by stepped it.
But yeah, it was a bit sitcom-y because, you know, Phoebe's just talking about how she's got to find this girl. Mm-hmm. And then the girl appears, and Phoebe's not there to see it.
Mm-hmm. Because she walked to the left instead of going to the right.
She turned left.
She did turn left. Doctor Who reference. Anyway, Tanya says she saved a turkey no mayo for Prue because it's her favorite. And Prue says she's a good woman and hands her some money. And we have yet another continuity error that I noticed. Tanya was holding the sandwich in her right hand when the shot is on her, but when Prue is handing her the money and the shot is on Prue, the sandwich is in her left hand. And she hands her the sandwich with the left hand and then takes the money with the left hand.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Fucking continuity errors, man.
And see, it wasn't until Prue was heading back toward the desk that I noticed the crop top.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And I wrote, what the fuck, it's a crop top. How is that work appropriate?
Yeah, there's a lot of Prue outfits.
You can see belly button.
Yeah. There are a lot of Prue outfits that are not work appropriate at all whatsoever. Not even in the 90s.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, whatever. So, Tanya thanks her, Prue says goodbye, Tanya leaves and closes the door behind her. And then Prue just tosses the sandwich down on the desk and goes back to staring at the picture of her and Andy.
Because she's preoccupied.
Yeah. And then we cut to the manor at night, and Prue is in the attic. She's now wearing a gray top with white trim, a red hoodie, and pants with some sort of, like, tied belt. I couldn't tell if they were, like, sweatpants or yoga pants or something. I don't know. But it was like a little tie at the waist. And she is looking at the truth spell in the Book of Shadows. And we get one little line. Okay, you win. Which is just like, alright. It's a little weird, a little awkward, but okay. And then we cut to outside. And Piper, who is now wearing a long, dark gray jacket over the outfit she was wearing earlier in the kitchen scene. Not in the restaurant kitchen, but in the kitchen. And she's holding, like, a binder and some paperwork stuff. And she opens the door as Phoebe comes up behind her. And we get a cute sister moment of, hey, stranger, back from the war? Which was funny. And Piper coming back with, more like I brought the battle home with me. Which is cute. She's apparently got inventory to go, whatever. Phoebe offers to help. You know, you help me, I help you, that kind of thing. And they both walk inside. But what I want to know is, where was Phoebe all day? Because now it's nighttime. She's just getting home with the laptop, and Prue is already home, changed, and in the attic.
She was probably at some cafe on their intranet.
But I don't think cafes had internet back in the day. Like, maybe she went to the library?
Or that. She must have gone to some place
or
where she wouldn't have to pay for the internet.
Yeah, because, like, yeah.
But she might have gone to the library. Anywhere with an internet hookup or a phone jack.
Yeah, because that was the only thing. I'm like, where has she been all day?
Researching.
Yeah. I don't know. So we cut back to the attic, and Prue begins the truth spell, and we learn that it only lasts 24 hours, and that anyone, besides Prue, I'm guessing, affected by the spell will forget anything that comes from the spell after it's done. That's what we learn in the first little moment of the spell. We cut back downstairs, and Piper and Phoebe are walking to the living room because we, can't stay in one place too long. And we need to establish that they're now both in the house. So Phoebe assumes that Piper didn't talk to her boss. Piper lies and says that she did. They sit down on the couch, and Piper randomly asks Phoebe if she's getting a zit on her chin.
Which, makeup department didn't put one there.
Nope, not even a little. Phoebe looks and says, I can't even see it. Which, because there was no zit there, can't see anything. But, you know it'll come back in a moment, because this is set up for a moment from now. Cut back to the attic where Prue is finishing the spell, and it ends with, those who are now in this house will hear the truth from others' mouths. So now we know that it will affect the sisters. Prue is thinking she's the only one home, Which, here's my question on that.
It's 8 o'clock at night.
It's 8 o'clock at night, yes. We get that moment of revelation in a minute. But here's my question. If Prue thinks she's the only one, why? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you rather have your sisters in on this? Like, it just... Because otherwise you're gonna ask the sisters something, or they're gonna ask you something, and you're gonna have to be truthful about it, and they're gonna have to be truthful about it, and they're gonna be like, the fuck's going on? What's happening?
Which is what happens the next morning.
Right. But, I don't know. I think it was just... It was an a la convenience that they...
Yeah.
That they were like, oh, I thought I was the only one in the house kind of thing later on, you know?
Well, yeah, because then having them in the house adds the complication of when they're not around her, this is still happening to them.
Yeah.
Which they didn't choose.
Yeah. But whatever. So we cut back downstairs, and Piper still talking about the zit. You really can't see it? And Phoebe says, are you kidding? It looks like that thing has a life of its own.
Cue sound effect.
The little
Sparkly-
tinkle of chimes.
Sparkly sound effect.
Yeah. It's like
I
a...
hate that sound effect.
It's
It's
like-
so unnecessary.
Yeah. It's absolutely unnecessary.
And it's inconsistent.
But, well, it's a chimes sound. Like, it's like a little, like...
Well, the thing is,
Like someone
they
whacked
do
a wind
They
chime.
do it at the beginning, and then they do it once with Andy,
Yeah.
and then the sound never appears again.
Yeah.
I mean, that
I think-
either you're consistent with its application, or you just don't fucking have it.
I think... Okay, so here's my thought process on this. Okay? Is that they did it with the sisters and they did it with Andy because they were the main people. And it was...
They didn't even do it the entire time with Andy, though.
No, they did it the first time. They didn't do it the entire time with the sisters either. They just did it the first time.
No, they did it pretty consistently with the sisters. It only happened with Andy on the first question. And then after that, it didn't.
Yeah. I don't know. And
And then he got that constipated look on his face that I love so much.
Yes. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah.
Because that's still a bit off. So, we get the small tinkle of chimes, and Piper just has this, like, little wounded, like, what? Like, how dare you say that to me kind of moment from the your zit is huge
Yeah.
comment.
And Phoebe gets a look on her face and then turns to Piper and goes, "So, you really told off Martin, didn't you?"
You really told off Martin, huh? Like, it was more questioning
Yeah.
than, like, you know, anything else.
She's
But
looking to change the subject.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get, no, I lied, chickened out. Like, alright. And again, the small tinkle of chimes plays.
Which is clearly only for the audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. And then they look at each other a little confused, and we cut back to the attic, and Prue is dialing the phone, and we get a lovely insert shot of her watch.
A Bulgari.
Yeah.
Bulgari?
Yeah,
Bulgari?
Bulgari, but the V is, or the U is
a
spelled
V.
with a V, because
Yeah,
that's the way
Roman-
they do it.
Roman fucking numerals or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. And did you see the watch, though?
Yeah.
Did you see it? It said exactly 8 p.m. And
Yeah.
the only reason that I could tell that it was exactly 8 p.m. is because it was 8 p.m. Had it been any later than that? I suck at reading analog clocks. Like, I know I'm not autistic. I'm not really mentally impaired. Like, I have ADHD. I have OCD tendencies. But my brain is wired weird. Like, you know, my left eye itches. There's something in my right eye. That kind of weird.
Yeah.
My body is strange. But I have a hard time with analog clocks. Like, super hard. You can teach me how to read an analog clock, and I will know exactly how to read it until I stop looking at it. It's like the Doctor Who, like the silence from Doctor Who. While you're looking at it, you know what's happening. As soon as you look away, you completely forget. That's what happens with me in analog clocks.
That's funny.
Unless it is on the hour. Because I can remember the long hand on the 12, if the little hand is on a number, that's what time it is. I totally get that. For some reason, that sticks in my brain. But later on, when we see that it's like 3:15 or 6:15 or something, my brain could not figure that out. I literally had to ask my mother what time the clock said. Because I just could not do it.
See, with me, my issue is in communicating the time to other people. I never say the hour.
Okay? Just
Unless
like,
I'm consciously
it's 12
thinking.
after. 15 after.
Unless I'm consciously thinking the hour.
Yeah.
But I never am. I just say the minute. And sometimes people get very confused by that. Like, what time is it? 49. That's it. Nope. You don't get the hour. Mostly because, I don't know, maybe my brain assumes that people know what hour we're in.
Yeah, could be.
Like, I might say just after insert hour here if
Yeah.
it's just after.
Yeah.
Or, I'll say the hour if it's on the hour.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, you can't read them and I can't tell them to people.
There you go. We're a lovely pair. So, like I said, we get the instant shot of her watch saying that it's 8 o'clock, and Annie's answering machine picks up, and Prue, stammers out a little message saying, "Call me back in the next 24 hours, or tonight would be good."
That's how most phone conversations went for me back in that day. I'm bad at phone conversations.
Yeah, I'm so glad that texting is a thing.
Yes.
But my new Fitbit Blaze, if I get a phone call, it'll show up on here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I could get my notifications on here, but the problem with that is I get Twitter to my phone.
Yeah. So it's gonna be blowing up.
Yeah.
Wasting that battery.
Yeah. And so when I went to charge it, you take off the band, you pop out the face, and you stick it in a little box to charge it.
That's funny.
Yeah. I was like, oh, alright. I wasn't expecting that to be like that. I like it, though. But that just means that I can't lose the band. I have to make sure I know exactly where I've put down the band.
Yes.
Because the Fitbit bit isn't in the band while it's charging.
Bit in the band.
So yeah, so she leaves, this rambling message, whatever. And then we cut to what looks like an office building of some sort. It turns out to be some sort of science lab, which we only know because a man in a lab coat is looking at a slide in a microscope.
All I wrote for this was, I honestly have nothing to say about this lab scene. Because I don't. Because I'm just watching. I'm like, there's nothing noteworthy right in this moment to talk about.
Mm-hmm. But, we get Creepy Dude. What do we call him? Creep Throat?
Yes.
I have it written down as Creepy Guy right now in my notes.
Oh, yeah, because you only changed it for Creep Dude.
Yep, I changed Creepy Dude, but not Creepy Guy. Let me do that real quick. Hold on. There we go. Alright. So Creep Throat shows up behind him and asks if he is Mr. Pearson. Mr. Alex Pearson. He says he is. They have a bit of a back and forth, and we learn that Alex is working on soil samples from the Bindura Plateau.
Which is apparently
in Zimbabwe. Yeah. And that the crops there have been overrun by disease for decades. And Creep Throat picks up a petri dish and, stares at it for a moment. Just for creep factor, I guess. I don't know.
Just to be invasive.
Yeah. And saying that Alex's work will put all of that to an end. And Alex is like, that's the hope. And he comes back with, that's the reality. Alex wonders if he's from the Foundation. What foundation? No idea.
Whatever foundation is giving them grants.
Yeah, apparently. No clue. But Crypto says he's not, but that he has studied Alex's work and knows what it will lead to. And Alex is like, oh, you must mean the lab's work, because I'm just a tech. And Creepy Dude, puts his hand on Alex's shoulder.
Very creepily.
Yeah, and says that he's only a technician for now, but someday he'll help find the vaccine. And Alex is like, the vaccine? What vaccine? That kind of thing. And when Creepthroat doesn't answer, that's when he's like, who are you? What do you want? And he comes closer and whispers, your future. Which was the weirdest way of saying that, but alright. And when Alex tries to get away, he grabs him and they have the weakest bit of struggling I have ever seen. Which, for some reason, a la convenience, one might say.
Manages to tear off a button from Creepthroat's suit, and it falls onto the floor.
Yep, goes
Then he stops struggling, and we see Creepthroat's face, where a third eye opens up in between his eyebrows.
God, what is it? It's a fucking laser beam that's about to kill you. That's what it is.
I liked that they actually tried to color match the guy's existing eyes.
Yeah.
That was nice. Good job, CGI team.
Yep. And then, laser, lovely blue laser, into Alex's forehead. He cries out in pain just before his eyes turn white. And we get a commercial break.
Okay, no, I do have one thing to say about the scene. That bit reminded me of an episode of Star Trek where some creepy-ass, void entity wants to see how all the humans die, and so he starts with, the Black Ensign on comms, and this guy, who was only there for one episode, has one line, Ensign Haskell, I think is his name, gets to do a 30-second overacting bit of, his brain getting liquefied or something. It's great.
Nice.
There's so many gifs of that.
Alright. I'll have to look that up.
It's beautiful.
Though I did not remember that Pearson, our little lab tech dude, was black. Until I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, he's a black guy. Okay, cool. It's so rare, especially on, 90s shows, to have people of color. just randomly showing up. And the fact that they had a black guy as a lab tech was kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
One
awesome.
slightly progressive thing that they did that they will very, very soon undo.
Well, you know. But they do have people of color, you know, in the show. Not very many of them, mind you. But they do have them. Like Daryl, you know, and he's in a position of authority. So that, you know, it's kind of cool. Whatever. So, after the commercial, we get back at the manor, which is the next morning. And in the kitchen, Piper's pouring coffee, like she was the night before, or the day before. And she's wearing this, like, olive green long sleeve shirt and brown pants.
Olive green, you say?
Olive green, yes. And it's like an olive drab green.
Olive drab, you say?
Yes, absolutely. Olive drab female sheep, which is only a callback if I leave that bit from the beginning in.
Oh, feel free to leave that bit in, because I'm so surprised I remembered the greenish brown female sheep line.
Mm-hmm.
Considering I probably saw it in, like, 03.
Yeah. And then Prue walks in wearing a white shirt with black trim, a white hoodie, a black skirt, and strappy heels. And again, holding the paper. And then we get the cute sister moment of Prue saying, "Thanks, is this leaded?" And Piper's like, "Nope."
Nope. And of course, Prue's very
It's
surprised.
not? Never has been. I just say it is because it's ridiculous to make 2 pots of coffee when you're the only one who drinks diesel.
Again, with the gas metaphors.
Yep. And we get the chimes again because truth spell.
Because truth spell.
You know. Yep. And then Phoebe enters the kitchen wearing a black top tucked into white pants with a black belt and a red, like, overshirt jacket thing. I don't know, but it was kind of like red with like speckled black. It was cute. I liked that outfit. It looked very nice on her.
And she comes in with a line about to
Nothing.
Prue about how the phone bill is going to be astronomical because she was on the internet all night, which just gave me this pang of painful nostalgia.
Yep. And you had to pay for the internet via your phone bill.
See, okay, the thing is, people reminisce about dial-up. My house never had dial-up.
Oh.
That I can remember. Probably my dad was like, I don't want to fucking deal with this shit, and got whatever, like, wasn't dial-up. Got a dedicated line just for the computer, because we've always had a computer.
Yeah.
So when I would go over to my best friend's house, they would have dial-up.
Oh, Jesus.
It was hilarious.
Yes. I remember the first computer we had, we didn't have a dedicated line for the first, like, couple of weeks that we had the computer. And then after, I think it was, like, the 3rd or 4th time that my brother picking up the phone knocked us off the internet, we were like, we need to fix this. And that's when we got a second line for the computer. Because we could not deal with that.
Yeah.
At all, whatsoever. It was obnoxious.
Yes. So obnoxious.
Yes.
Because then you have to shout all around the house, like, I'm getting on the internet, and it's going to take, like, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then however much longer that I'm on the internet.
Yeah, and you had to be, like, sure that no one was gonna call you, or, like, and you had to, like, if you were gonna, like, download anything, you had to be like, nobody touch the phone! Like, it was a process.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, kids today have no idea.
None.
No clue.
Not a
Anyway,
clue.
so Phoebe's like, don't give me grief over the phone bill, and then tells Piper that she's sorry about the crack she made about the zit, and Piper's like, it's okay, but you really can't see it?
Phoebe's like I said, it's huge.
Yeah. But again, there's no zit on her face.
Nope.
Because apparently the makeup department was like, well, we can't make her not look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but whatever. So then Piper, rightfully, thinks something weird is going on.
Yep.
And Phoebe starts to pour herself a bowl of Crisp Crunch. That's the red box.
Yep. That would be
It's-
the Fruit Loops.
Yeah, in case you were wanting to remember that. And Leo enters the kitchen wearing a blue shirt and jeans. And he says he should be able to finish the stairs today. And then Piper says she'll make some more coffee. And Phoebe says she'll bring it to him. And he does this, like, cute little pursed lips thing with a soft little, like, okay, and leaves. And it's adorable.
So cute.
Absolutely adorable. And then we see Phoebe is now grabbing the corn puffs, which is, you know, the yellow box, and is pouring that into the bowl. And I want to know, did anybody else do this? Did they, like, do, like, different cereals together?
I would do it as a snack mix. I would not put it in milk.
Okay, because I never did that I'm aware of.
See, I was always very sure of what kind of cereals I enjoyed. I always wanted to have on hand a healthy unsweetened one, a healthy-ish sweetened one, and just sugar. So there was always Cheerios, always.
Okay.
and sometimes Rice Krispies for the just healthy. There would have been, like, Honey Bunches of Oats. Honey Bunches of Oats was a treat for me as a child for some odd reason, even though it's actually fairly healthy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like my parents wouldn't get it. It was, like, purposefully wouldn't get it. It was just, like, that wasn't one they liked particularly. So they never bought it.
Yeah. No, I
And
get
I
that.
fucking loved it. So whenever it was there, I was so happy.
I'm trying to remember what
And then-
cereals I ate as a kid.
And for my brother, that would probably be Fruit Loops, so I wouldn't count that in that category. And then for the sweet ones, like Frosted Flakes or Cocoa Puffs. Generally, Cocoa Puffs. I remember having a lot of timeout sessions with Cocoa Puffs.
I know that I did, like, Frosted Flakes, and I did, like, Fruity Pebbles.
Mm-hmm. I always hated Fruit Loops.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't a Fruit Loops person. I'm trying to remember. There was
Honey Nut Cheerios would also fit in with the Honey Bunches of Oats category.
Well, as I got older, like, Honey Nut Cheerios and Frosted Mini Wheats was my jam. And, like, to this day, the chocolate Frosted Mini Wheats I will eat by the handful, no milk, just out the box.
It's like
So good.
it's like pre-made puppy chow without all that powdered sugar nonsense.
Yeah. Or, even better, chocolate Frosted Mini Wheats with chocolate soy milk. Oh my god, it's amazing.
I'll have to take your word for it.
So good.
I don't actually remember ever having chocolate mini wheats.
I don't think they
remember
made them
regular,
as a kid.
like just frosted mini wheats. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Remember
think
that.
they made the chocolate ones
And of course,
until recently.
trying to get those overseas, you basically get one giant, like the Weetabix. It's just one giant like wheat pillow,
Yeah.
and you're like, the fuck.
Yep, because the whole point is you're supposed to pour milk over it and then break it up.
Yeah, like ramen.
Yeah. Basically, it's breakfast ramen. It's basically what it is.
That gets real soggy real fast.
Yeah. There was a Michael Aranda video for his What I'm Doing Right Now channel where they got into a debate over whether cereal was soup.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was funny.
Yep. I thought that it was a funny little thing of like, is cereal soup? Like, well, it depends on what you consider soup.
Yeah.
Because if you think that a soup is a hot thing, well, that's not completely true because there's gazpacho soup, which is served cold.
Yes.
So, my logic is this.
If you think it's a soup, it's a soup.
Well, here's my logic is if you can eat it in a bowl but not on a plate, it's probably a soup.
Okay.
Because, like spaghetti, you can eat in a bowl, but you can also eat it on a plate.
Salad.
Salad, you can eat it in a bowl, but you can also eat it on a
Although
plate.
the definition of salad is delightfully vague. Because anything can be a salad.
True.
Really, anything.
Very true.
It's great, which means you have to pick one thing to eat for the rest of your life. Just say salad.
Salad.
You don't define it. Like, you could mean chicken salad.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
could mean fruit salad.
Salad, as weird as it sounds, salad is one of my favorite foods, and I was actually craving salad yesterday, and I was so sad that I couldn't get it.
Oh no.
I was mad.
Why couldn't you get it?
Because it was crazy raining,
Oh.
and I did not want to go out in the rain.
Oh, you're like
And-
Rapunzel's mom.
I'm melting. No, that's the Wicked Witch. No, I didn't want to go out in the rain because the street where I live, when the rain is super
yeah.
bad, like it was yesterday, becomes a swimming pool.
Yep.
And it was so bad yesterday. Like, so bad. It was literally coming up halfway up the sidewalk and, like, up the drive to the parking lot. Like, it was bad. It was super, super bad yesterday. But I digress. So, like I said, so Phoebe has now grabbed the corn puffs and is pouring that into her bowl. And Piper's all, here we go again. And then Phoebe goes, you know, we both know the only reason I like Leo is because you do. And then stops
Chime.
herself. Yeah, a little chime. And stops herself and goes,
I have no idea why I just said that. Immediately
Turns to
around
Prue.
and goes,
what's
Prue.
going on? Yeah. Because, you know, I love the little, like, she tries to deflect and goes, late for work, busy, gotta go. Like, just tries to get away. And Piper calls after her.
Okay, that shouldn't have worked because she probably wasn't late for work. If she was sitting down reading the paper.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing. I don't know if she asked, like, a specific question.
Well, it's still a truth spell.
But it's if you get asked a question.
Well, it's not specified in the spell. That's just how it functionally works in the episode. If you're under a truth spell, you should not be able to lie.
I don't know. Hold on, let me think, because you know. Oh, yeah, she does. She's asked what's going on, and Prue's response is, okay, I'm late for work, busy, gotta go.
Well, yes, it shouldn't have worked on that in that regard. But in general, she shouldn't have been able to just say...
Very true, but there are a couple of other times where she doesn't answer a question that she has asked. We'll get to that when we get to that. So yeah, so she tries to deflect, heads for the door, Piper calls after her, and I love Phoebe goes, spill, which is just great. Like, it's a total 90s phrase, and I love it. And Prue says that she casts a truth spell, and Phoebe and Piper both freak out, and Piper says why. You know, why? And Prue says she wanted to know what Andy would think of her if
this
he
is
knew
where the sound
she was
effect
a witch.
starts happening for them.
Yeah. But Piper just says this small little, like, oh.
Like, it was really
that's
cute.
a
She's
good
like,
logic.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like, that's a good logic. And then we get a cute sister moment where Phoebe's like, I can't believe it. And Prue's like, look who's talking, little Miss Spell of the Week. Which, kind of funny, you know. No, I mean, I can't believe you actually took my advice. The biggest pooper at the Wicca party has finally used her power for personal gain.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Phoebe. But Piper's like, it's affecting us, what have you done, you know? And Prue says it was only supposed to work on her because it said those in this house, and she thought she was alone. And Phoebe's just like, well, obviously you weren't. But, you know, my question, just a thought real quick. Why did she not hear the door? Like, I know she was in the attic, but we've had them in the attic before and hearing the door open.
Yep.
So...
just a la convenience that.
Yep. Piper says they have to undo it, and Prue says they can't, and we get exposition time.
Yeah.
Which I think might be the new phrase of this episode. We learn 24-hour time limit, which means until 8 o'clock tonight, anybody that comes in contact with them will have no choice but to tell the truth. Piper asks what she means by that, and she says, you know, I mean exactly what I said.
That.
Yeah, just that. And tells Piper to ask her a question. And so, of course, Phoebe takes the golden opportunity to ask what Prue thinks of her. And we get this lovely line. While I admire your confidence and your fearlessness, your utter lack of responsibility frustrates me to no end. Yeah, which was great. And Piper thinks it could be dangerous, but Phoebe's kind of digging it, which was a funny little moment.
Phoebe about this is me.
Oh, yeah.
I would have been so happy.
I'm like,
because, you know, like, if you know how to obfuscate, you don't care if there's a truth spell.
So true. And here's my thing.
Because you know how to tell the truth without telling the whole truth. And nothing but.
And you can stop somebody else from asking a question by cutting them off, and then you don't have to answer it.
This is very
She
true.
works with that real well later. But, so then Phoebe asks what Piper really thinks of her boss. And we get the best moment for Piper in the beginning of this episode, where she says she thinks that he is a self-serving jerk who must have a very small penis.
Prue is delighted to hear that. And Phoebe is even more delighted.
Yes. And of course, then she freaks
Piper
out
is
and like, and covering her mouth.
On her face.
Yeah.
She's so fired.
Yes. But Prue says it's okay, because once the spell ends, no one will remember what they heard. And we get a cute line from Phoebe of, way to come out of the broom closet.
I love that line.
Which was kind of funny. But Piper thinks that they're both nuts and that they need to just lock the doors, call in sick, and stay in their bedrooms till the spell ends. And Phoebe reminds them that there's a demon on the loose and she still has to find the woman from her vision.
And then has the revelation.
A small epiphany, if you will, that she's like, she wants to be absolutely clear that everyone she asks a question to has to answer with the truth, and Prue says yes, but reminds her that if they get asked a question, they also have to answer the truth. And Phoebe's like, I can work around that. She grabs her coat and starts to leave. We have a small audio error in that we never hear the door open, but we do hear it close. Just throwing that out there. And then Piper gets the last line of the scene of, don't even think of asking me what I think about you right now.
Which Prue was clearly not going to do.
Yeah, not even a little. So then we cut to the police station, and Phoebe walks up to Andy's desk, and he's in a gray suit today. Mm-hmm. Gotta switch it up.
Some kind of patterned tie.
Yeah. You know.
Not horrible looking, but we can't exactly see the fit from this angle.
True. And they greet each other, and then she cuts him off before he can ask her anything by asking if he's talked to Prue. He says that she left a message on his machine, but he wasn't sure if he wanted to call her back. And she's like, you should definitely call her back. And she grabs a pen and paper from her purse.
Yes, and this first question, there's no sound effect, which makes me wonder, like, was the original conception that the sound effect, thus telling the audience that a truth spell has been enacted, Is that just for when it would be an answer that they would otherwise have to coerce?
Probably, yeah.
Because then it's still not consistent, even.
True, but it's more consistent that way.
Barely.
Well, you know. Whatever. But so, she gets a pen and paper from her purse, and Andy asks if that's why she came to the police station, and she replies with a truthful, hardly, before asking what he knows about the murder. And we get exposition time.
Yeah.
That the lead detective says he's not the only victim, that they found the lab technician out in Oakland, and that each of them had the same cauterized mark on their forehead, and their eyes were drained of color, and they were completely white.
And then Andy starts to look a little panicked.
Uh-huh. Because he catches himself. But, of course, before he can do too much about it, she asks for the cause of death. And I just love his physicality in answering this. He gets, like, robotic, where he kind of, like, straightens up and his head goes, like, stiff to answer. It's really funny. But he says that the cause of death was unknown, that it looked like a bullet to the head, but there was no exit wound or a bullet.
Yeah.
And then he, again, tries to catch himself.
And he starts looking, like, a little constipated, or like he's about to vomit.
Yeah, a little bit. And she asks if there's any suspects, which there aren't, or if there's any evidence that could lead to a suspect. And he says that there was a button at the crime scene made of an alloy that forensics had never seen before. Now, here's my question. What kind of alloy could it be? Like, what alloy wasn't around? Yeah, that wasn't around in 1998.
Probably just a slightly altered alloy of something we would already know, but that wouldn't have been... Like, there's gonna be shit that we know now that wouldn't have been known then.
Right, but that's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, what could it have been? Like, some sort of man-made plastic something that didn't exist? Or...
Well, it was an alloy, so it's metal.
True.
But
Science!
Like, Vantablack would not... No one would have been able to identify that 30 years ago. It'd be like,
hell,
what the
20
fuck
years ago.
What the fuck is this shit that doesn't reflect any fucking light? This is insane. It's a piece of void material.
Yeah. It is the void. We are D&D.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
And it's the color of the time clock at work. Once they refill the ink, it goes from a light charcoal to Vantablack.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because, like, if they do it when you're in the middle of working on something, so you have the clock in on the work order, and it's like a very light gray, and then when you clock out, it's super black, and you're like, this is hilarious.
That's great. So he starts to be like, what the hell is going on? But she cuts him off before he can get that far with
Tells him not to ask.
Yeah, don't ask that. And then she thanks him, and he gives a little wave without saying anything.
A little wave with one hand kind of, like, in front of his mouth. Like, shit, am I gonna puke?
Yeah. And she reminds him to call Prue by 8, which he gives a little thumbs up without saying anything.
Doesn't trust himself to say anything.
And she does this, like, cute little nose wrinkle and leaves. And then we cut to Buckland, because why wouldn't we? Prue is sitting in her office, staring off into the distance and clicking her pen, because reasons.
Yeah.
And the phone rings, breaking her non-concentration, her staring off into the distance
Daydream.
concentration. Yeah. Which she answers with the unprofessional hello before catching herself. But it's okay because it's Andy on the phone, so it's not that big a deal. And he says that Phoebe stopped by and said he should call. And she's just like, Phoebe? Which, like...
Of course it was Phoebe.
Well, but, you know, like...
Well, no, in Prue's mind.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. It was a cute moment, but it was just like, I don't know. It was a cute thing. Whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Prue asks to meet because she doesn't want to talk over the phone. And we get cuts back and forth between Prue and Andy, depending on who's speaking. And Andy asks if he should be looking forward to it or dreading it, and she says she doesn't know, which is apparently the truth, because truth spell. And she asks him to an early dinner, meaning right then.
And he says, it's lunchtime. Look up at the clock, and it's like 1:35.
12:35, according to my mother.
I saw 35. I didn't see whether it was 1 or 12.
According to my mother, 12:35. And he says he's to be interviewing a witness nearby her around 5, and that he can come by after. And there's a knock on the door, and it's Tanya the sandwich girl, who walks in with Hannah behind her.
Hannah clearly eyeing all of them sandwiches.
Yeah. And we have Tanya is in a cute little blue hoodie with like a little vine-ish detail around the neck.
It's like a fleece hoodie.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of thing.
Over a little white shirt, which we only see for a second. And then jeans and her little brown apron. And Hannah is in like this shiny gray tailored pantsuit with this like shiny turtleneck style top that I couldn't tell. It was either like purple, gray, or silver.
That looked like the kind of shirt that you would have gotten in a can. You remember those?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I wrote down that it looked like one of those crinkle shirts that you can buy at Walgreens.
Yeah.
Like, that's what that looked like.
That's because that's what it was.
But yeah, I totally remember shirts in a can.
Mm-hmm.
That was so a 90s thing. But yeah, it was like, I couldn't tell. It was either like a light purple or like a gray or silver.
It was a silvery blue.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell. But whatever. So, Prue, still being on the phone, says she'll see him after 5, hangs up and says hi to Tanya, ignoring Hannah, which was kind of funny. And Hannah asks if it was a personal call, and Prue comes back with the wonderful line of, "Personal business, Hannah, and I swear that's my name on the door."
Yep.
You know. Hannah then picks up a sandwich saying, "Oh look, the last turkey no mayo, my favorite."
Which we already know is Prue's sandwich.
Uh-huh.
And Tanya confirms, saying she was saving it for Prue.
Right.
Hannah very condescendingly says,
Well,
I'm sure you were.
Yeah. You were. Yeah. And holds out some money. At least she's going to pay for it, you know. And Prue asks, "Don't you hate turkey?" To which Hannah has to reply truthfully, "Of course I do. I just don't want you to have it." And there are those chimes again. And both Hannah and Tanya both look confused as to what just happened.
Prue is excited to be able to use this opportunity
Yeah.
to really grill Hannah.
Yes.
And asks her, why exactly do you hate me so much?
No. The exact line, and
Okay.
I love the exact line was, "Is there any particular reason why you're such a bitch to me?"
Oh, yeah.
It's the best line. And of course, Hannah says, "Yes, because it's my mission in life to destroy you."
As behind her walks up Rex Buckland.
Yeah.
He says some lame line about inter-office rivalry.
Yeah. Getting those creative juices flowing.
Competitive juices.
Yes. Getting those competitive
Which
juices
you
flowing.
you don't want that in this kind of a business.
No, you really don't, but...
This is not that kind of business.
Yeah, well, you know. But he asks to have a word with Hannah, they both leave, and Tanya just gives this little small shrug and leaves, and Prue just looks vindicated and heads back to her desk, and it's just lovely. And then we cut to Rex's office, and Hannah walks in with Rex behind her, and he asks what the bloody hell she thinks she's doing, and that, you know, she says she doesn't know that it just came out of her mouth, and I'm reminded that they let British characters say bloody hell on American TV shows, because it's not a swear to us, so they can get away with it.
The first time I was reading Harry Potter and Ron got in trouble with McGonagall for saying bloody hell, I was very curious. I'm like, hell? You're objecting to hell?
Nope.
What?
Nope, the
Because
phrase
I was
itself.
long past the age where kids would actually say H-E double hockey sticks,
Oh, yeah.
unless they had extremely strict parents.
Yeah.
And then I would roll my eyes at the fact that they said that. Be like,
Yeah.
just, it's hell. Don't say heck. You mean hell.
Yes. Okay, so you said H-E double hockey sticks. There were two other, because double hockey sticks means it's all capital.
Yeah.
There were the two that I heard when it was the lowercase.
Chopsticks.
No. Baseball bats or toothpicks. Those were what I got as a kid.
Nice.
H-E double toothpicks. Okay. H-E double baseball bats. But yeah, so Rex gets a bit upset with Hannah, saying that it didn't just come out, and he wonders if she's lost complete control of her faculties.
Which she didn't actually reveal anything specific.
Well, but
He's
apparently
just overreacting.
she would have. Somehow he knows that. Like, only if Prue had come out and been like, "Are you a demon? Are you a warlock?
Yeah.
Are you a bad guy in some way?" Like, no.
I mean, it makes sense from a human perspective to Prue, so why would she question further?
Yeah,
Just tell her
exactly.
to get the fuck out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like, it's my mission in life to destroy you. That just sounds like a work rivalry thing of like, you're better at your job than I am, and I want to take you down a peg. So yeah, but so Hannah says no, and then she gets all like cutesy flirtsy, whatever, with a "forgive me," and he comes back with always, which now has a different connotation.
Yes.
Thank you, Harry Potter. But whatever. And then he gets a cigar out of the box on his desk.
Because he's day smoking.
Yeah, well, they did not...
Cigars?
Hey, you know, it's an office. Cigars were a thing more than cigarettes. You know, whatever. But so you hear... At least I'm happy that they put in the foley
chopping off
of the clipping of the tip.
The
Tip.
circumcision.
Yes, the circumcision of the cigar.
Cigar-cumcision. Have a shot, people.
They clip the tip. But yeah, so we get the little Foley sound of him clipping the tip of the cigar, and then Hannah blows on it.
Well, no, she starts to walk away, and he says...
Oh yes, he calls her back. Yes.
And then they do a blatant ripoff from Practical Magic.
Yes, absolutely. Where she just blows on the cigar and it
And
lights
it
up.
slowly lights up, which
Yeah.
I want to know how Practical did that. That's fun. Because I don't think self-lighting cigars existed. I don't think they exist now.
No, they do not. I'm sure it was either CGI or...
No, because there was actual smoke coming out of there.
They can CGI smoke,
Not that well, not then. It was real smoke.
Just a second.
It was real smoke.
Anyway, so he calls her back, she blows on the cigar, lights it up, he tells her to get back to work, gives off another puff of the cigar, and we cut to the manor. And they're in the room with all the wicker furniture, which I still refuse to believe is actually comfortable to sit on, but whatever. Piper is talking on the phone with Martin, who wants her to work, and she says that she can't because she's trying to do the books. And she does this, little wince, like she's being yelled at, even though we can't hear anything.
Yeah, we hear nothing of the phone conversation on his end until he hangs up.
Yeah. We find out that Martin wants her to do the books and run the floor at the same time. And she tries to say that it's impossible and he doesn't understand, but
But
apparently...
she can't get a full sentence in at
Well, yeah,
once.
because he's apparently still yelling at her, So apparently he wants her to come in right now, and she caves and says she's on her way. And then we hear the dial tone on the other end of the phone before she even hangs up. And she has a lovely line when she does of, "Nice talking to you too, jerk." She can be sassy and,
really
cute when no one's around. And then we get my absolute favorite scene of the entire episode, where Leo walks in, asking to borrow the washing machine because he spilled something on his shirt. She says he can use it, and then asks if she can get him some coffee. And he says that she better not, because he'll just wind up knocking it all over again.
Because, truth be told, caffeine makes him jittery, so he really...
Clumsy. He says clumsy.
Okay.
Which was even funnier than jittery.
Which means he's just been accepting this coffee. Which, okay, hang on. That made me confused, because...
It's supposed to be unleaded. Yeah, exactly. But,
placebo effect?
Maybe. Don't know. But, so he starts walking to the kitchen, but she calls after him and asks if she can ask him a question. And when he says that she can, she falters and just asks if he needs another shirt. But he says he's got one in his truck. And then she stops him again, saying that wasn't really her question, and gets up the courage to ask if he ever thinks of her. And he nearly immediately says yes. And she asks him what way, and tries to give him some options like friend and whatnot. And he replies that she has beautiful eyes.
And is immediately a little embarrassed by that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we never get the sound effect with him either.
No, we don't.
And he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was inappropriate," and she's clearly totally fine with it.
Yes. Because they both, laugh nervously. And I just love when he says that she has beautiful eyes, he goes, "Well, that's a good way."
Yeah.
That's a good way to think of me. I'm okay with that. That's cute. And then, he asks if it's inappropriate, and she says it wasn't. And we get the best moment of the entire show. Piper decides to throw caution to the wind and ask Leo how he feels about women who make the first move.
He says, "Oh, I don't know. I'm still waiting
for it to happen." And she gives the cutest reply to that was, "Goodness." And then she kisses him. And there's no stage kiss. It is proper passion. Awesome. They break away from the kiss. And he comes back with, "How do you feel about guys who make the second move?" And she says, "Love them." And then they kiss again. And I wrote in my notes, "All of that passion brings on all of the feels."
Yes.
It's
much
great.
passion, very feels. Wow.
Yes. Gotta love it. But yeah, my favorite scene, technically, definitely in the entire episode, but probably in the entire series. My favorite moment, because it's not just their first kiss, it's their first kiss under a truth spell. Not a love spell.
Yeah.
A truth spell.
Yes.
And so that's how I was done. They're going to be together forever, and I'm in love with it.
Yes. And if we can just go slightly back for a second.
Yes.
When she asks him if he thinks of her, she has this little head tilt on "think of me." And my brain just goes, "Think of me fondly."
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
It was the cutest head tilt, and I was just like, "Oh, this is so cute."
Yes.
I love it.
It really is.
It's so cute.
It really was my favorite scene in the entire episode.
Their story, for the most part overall, is pretty fluffy. Mm-hmm. These first 3 seasons, it's pretty fluffy.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, boo-boos. Thank you for kisses. I really think that, before Tumblr was a thing, before shipping was a thing.
This was your OTP?
Yeah, I was gonna say, before the phrase OTP was a thing in my existence, in my life, they were my OTP.
Yeah.
They were. Hi, boo-boos.
Blooby-doo, what you doing?
You just gonna sit on my leg? Okay.
Good boy.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yes, this was big ship for me as well.
They
what
are just so cute
my ships
together.
at this point would have been that Gundam Wing.
I don't know that one.
Well, the show. Relina and Hero.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a nerd.
There you
Great.
go.
What
I'm a
else?
nerd as well, just not the same type
There
of
weren't
nerd.
really any ships on Dragon Ball Z. Well, Vegeta Bulma, but that wasn't one I ever really saw coming, and once it did, I'm just like, does this work? And it kind of worked, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, Blue.
Right, Blue? Yeah. Then we cut to Buckland, and Prue is waiting outside an elevator, and Phoebe comes out of a door behind her.
Wearing a giant-ass belt with tan slacks and a black tank top under some kind of jacket thing.
I don't even think I wrote down that change.
I just noticed
wardrobe.
the huge belt, and then I noticed the slacks.
Yeah.
She was definitely wearing a tank top under that, though.
And then Rex walks around the corner, and Prue says hi, and he says hi back, and he asks how she is. And she starts to say that she's a nervous wreck because she's about to tell her boyfriend that she's a witch.
But she gets to wit, and
wit.
Phoebe helpfully jumps in with
Ner! A winner! Now, here's my question, right? If she's under a truth spell where everyone will forget what they've heard except a la convenience the sisters, why is it a problem if she tells Rex she's a witch?
I mean, I think it's probably just so nothing happens right then. Like, it would just be uncomfortable. And Phoebe knows it. And Phoebe knows Prue wouldn't have wanted to tell Rex anyway.
But she could have played it off, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. But the other thing that I thought of with that is, if Phoebe can stop herself from giving a complex answer to a simple question, why couldn't Prue just stop at, I'm a complete wreck? I'm about to go talk to my ex-boyfriend. Like, why? Why? And you'll also notice, she doesn't say her ex-boyfriend, she says her boyfriend.
That's cute. Blue.
So there's that.
Like, good boy.
Phoebe introduces herself to Rex, reminding him that they've met, and he says, how could I forget? And then Prue says they should go to her office, and they walk away. And in the background, you see Rex kind of like stop, look at the elevator, and then turn and walk the other direction. Like, why was I coming this way again? It was kind of a funny little background moment. Phoebe says that the spell is really working, and Prue replies that she knows, and asks if Phoebe talked to Andy, and Phoebe says that she did, and that he gave her a list of all the victims. So, you know, he didn't give her that list when we saw her talking to him earlier, so unless she talked to him again, it seems like either a continuity error or an a la convenience moment.
Probably both.
Yeah. But she says that all the victims died the same way and the police don't have a suspect. She did get that from Andy when she talked to him, that they all died the same way and that they don't have a suspect. So that's what I'm saying is she got a list from him when? Because he didn't give it to her before she walked out the thing earlier. So, I don't know. As they're walking down the hall to Prue's office, Phoebe goes on to say that she has no way of finding the victim, and then Tanya walks past, and she's like, that's the girl from my vision, you know?
Recognizes her immediately.
Immediately, right? Tanya gets into the elevator, and Phoebe runs after her, trying to get her to hold the elevator, but someone is pushing the door close button. Cut inside the elevator. Hey, look, it's Creepy Dude!
Creep
Throat. Yeah. Tanya has taken her sunglasses off of her shirt, where she had kept them hanging, and is starting to put them on. And then Creepthroat asks, again, using the name, is she Mrs. Parker? Mrs. Tanya Parker? And when she says that she is, he says that she has been most difficult to find. Never in the same place, never alone.
How is this conversation not creeping out the entire elevator?
Yeah, and she just goes, excuse me? I'm sorry. Like, you're just holding your sunglasses there. Like, he does this, like, creepy head movement, too.
Yeah.
And it's like, this would make me totally not want to be alone with him. Would not make me want to leave the elevator if he's leaving the elevator. Or make me want to leave the elevator if everyone else is. Because I would not want to be alone with him in any way, shape, or form. Like, there's a lot that happens right now. Like, why does nobody else in the elevator react at all to this creepiness?
They just don't.
Yeah, whatever. So we cut back to Prue and Phoebe, again, outside the elevator, and Prue asks Phoebe if she's sure, and she says that she is, so Prue tells her to take the stairs while she goes back to the office to call security. And then we cut to the parking lot, and Creepy Throat has a hold on Tanya, who now has her sunglasses on, because...
And is screaming.
Yeah. But I really want to know why she left that elevator after that confrontation. Like...
She was probably trying to get away from him, which is how she made it into the parking lot.
Well, no, because Phoebe runs out of the employee entrance, sees him being manhandled, and pushed against a car, and she grabs what looks to be Tanya's cooler and stuff that has been overturned. So she didn't make it out to the parking lot unscathed.
No. But she probably did, like, a quick walk from the elevator, and then the guy tackled her or something there. But the cooler wasn't far from where they were struggling by the cars.
I guess, but, like, I really truly want to know, like, why she went anywhere alone.
Yeah.
Especially since he just said, you're never alone.
Yeah.
You were hard to find because you're never alone. Like, I would not be alone then. I'd be like, that's right, I'm never alone. Hi, person, stranger, lady next to me in the elevator. Come walk with me to my car, please, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
this is why I wonder why no one in the elevator even acknowledged the conversation that was happening. Like, I understand they were extras, they didn't have their SAG cards, whatever. But seriously, if I was in an elevator and that's a conversation I overheard...
Or maybe, have filmed that without other people in the elevator.
No, because then he would have just killed her in the elevator.
Would he?
Yeah.
I feel like he prefers to do it in places where there aren't people who are going to immediately see this, and then he will be detained.
Yeah, but I'm fairly certain that had there been no one else in the elevator, he would have just killed her in the elevator.
Fair.
Fairly certain of that.
But anyway, Creep Throat is struggling with Tanya against some cars and trying to rip her sunglasses off, which makes me wonder why. Like, was the eyepiece specifically in the way? I don't think so.
No.
Did her eyes need to be visible?
Maybe.
For him to, like, be sure or something?
Maybe. But before we get to that little moment, this is where my ADD kind of goes a little nuts, and I'm aware that I'm a little crazy. But I had this moment, right? So, Phoebe runs out and picks up 2 blue glass bottles from all of the overturned...
sparkling water,
yeah,
I presume.
all the overturned crazy stuff on the ground. So, I wondered what water brand came in blue glass bottles. So, I looked it up. Well, more to the point, my mother looked it up because I was busy watching and taking notes and didn't want to go on the internet, because if I go on the internet while I'm watching the show, I'll go off on tangents of the internet and whatever. So my mother
and then would have taken you 12 hours.
Exactly. So apparently the blue glass bottles are a brand called Thai Nant. Tynant. And they have 2 versions. They have still water, which means no bubbles, that comes in a red bottle, and the carbonated version,
sparkling,
which means bubbles, comes in the blue bottle. So there's that. And then, now that I knew what the blue bottles were, I looked at what else was on the ground. So there's green bottles, which logically is Perrier. I mean, yeah. But then there's plastic water bottles with a red label. And I was trying to figure out what it could be. And I could not figure it out. I'm assuming the closest thing that I could find was Arrowhead, which is a California, a West Coast water.
It makes sense if it were a West Coast brand.
Yeah. But the Arrowhead label did not look like the label in the picture, because the label on the bottle had like an oval shape to it. So I'm putting this out there to our listeners, that if you know what brand the water bottle is, tweet me a picture of what it actually is, hashtag it, Charm Chats, and I will send you a super special prize. No idea what that is.
Determined.
Yeah, TBD, but I will send you something cool, because I really want to know what that water bottle was. And I know I'm crazy, but I tried to look it up and could not figure it out. And it will drive me nuts a little bit every day until I figure it out. So I'm putting that out there. I took a picture of the screen of the water bottle from that moment in the scene, and it'll be up on the website for this episode. So yeah, tweet at me if you can figure out what it actually is. And we'll work something out. I'll send you something cool. Anyway, that being said. So Creep Throat pulls her sunglasses off and starts to laser a hole into her forehead when Phoebe hits him over the head with one of the blue bottles, breaking it, which stops the laser, luckily.
Yeah.
So Phoebe tells Tanya to run, and then Creep Throat turns around to face Phoebe, and she sees the third eye, which stops her.
She properly freaks out about that.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, like that freaks her out. She stops for a moment because she wasn't expecting it. But then she hits him across the face with the other bottle.
Yeah.
You know.
And then
runs to the car.
To Tanya's car.
Right. Tanya runs to her car and hops in the driver's seat, and there's a cute little cherry air freshener.
Yeah.
That was cute.
That was adorable.
Hanging out from the rear view. And Phoebe hops into the passenger seat. Now, because I have the ability to frame by frame, I thought that Alyssa's hair, or I should say Phoebe's hair, looked not quite right as she got into the car. And so I went frame by frame, and I think it's her stand-in. I don't think it was actually her.
Why? It's running to a car.
Well, I'm thinking that it might have been like a pickup shot or something, and they're like, shit, we didn't get this, get her getting into the car, we need this shot, and they had her stand in do it, because the hair was not perfect. But, whatever, so we get that moment, and then Creep Throat stands up, the third eye no longer visible, and he does this, weird, feel of his face.
Yeah.
moment, which is just, it was a funny acting choice that I enjoyed. And then we see Tanya and Phoebe driving away, and Creepthroat does this, like, weird, like, head turn things that look like they just took a shot of him looking to the left and reversed it.
Yeah.
So that he abruptly looks to the right and just stops. As Prue comes running out with two men in ill-fitting suits who are apparently
Presumably
security. Yeah.
Yells
And
Phoebe at a retreating car, which how would she know she was even in there? And then immediately doesn't see her, doesn't notice the guy and the cooler all over the floor, turns around, security guys follow her back in.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
You'd want to question the guy, wouldn't you?
You'd think so. But, you know.
Even if you don't know what he is, you'd still be like, hey there's
did
a
you
cooler
see
full
this?
of food. What's going on? What happened? Why did this car peel out of here?
Yeah. Like, you'd think, but, you know, they're security, not police. So, there's that. So, they go back inside and we have a commercial break. And when we come back, we're in the living room of the manor. And Tanya's sitting on the couch, on the phone with her husband. She tells him that she's fine, that he doesn't have to fly back early, she's staying with friends. And he'll explain it all when he gets home. And Phoebe
comes
walks
up
in.
with, like, rubbing alcohol or something?
Yeah, like, you'd think hydrogen peroxide. But it was a white bottle, not a brown one, so it was rubbing alcohol.
Yeah. And she starts dabbing everywhere but the wound because she doesn't want to ruin Makeup's hard work.
Yes.
Because apparently Makeup decided to do hard work on this and not on a potential zit of Piper's.
Yeah, well, you know.
Same skill level, all I'm saying.
Yeah. But, to be fair, if it's rubbing alcohol and not hydrogen peroxide, you don't want to put it on the wound.
Okay.
Like, you're trying to clean around the wound with rubbing alcohol. But if it was hydrogen peroxide, that would actually help, you know, clean out the wound. Because rubbing alcohol doesn't really clean that way. You know what I mean? Like, there's no antibiotic, antiseptic, anything to rubbing alcohol. Hydrogen peroxide, however...
It kills bacteria and whatnot, but it's not really going to do much.
Yeah. But, so... She asks Tanya if she has kids, which gets a not yet answer.
She's clearly just grilling her to see why is this woman significant.
Mm-hmm. And she asks about pets, which gets a no, which I thought was funny. Like, okay. And Tanya, you know, still on the phone and tells her husband that she loves him and hangs up. And then I just love the little moment. She goes, before I can explain any of this to my husband, you're gonna have to explain it to me. What's going on? And this is where we get Phoebe, again, not deflecting, still answering the question.
But for some reason, feels compelled to say, truth spell.
Not yet. That's the next question. But she dodges the question with a vague answer of, short story, you're in danger.
Which is true.
It's true, but, like, I don't understand how she can dodge with a vague answer. Because in the next question, Tanya says, what's that thing? And that's when Phoebe goes, truth spell. That thing was a demon. It's like, why was there no vagueness there? No, he's a bad guy who wants you dead for some reason. Nope, he's a demon. You know? It just, yeah, I don't know.
But to her credit, Tanya pauses for a beat and then goes,
I'm out of here. And gets up to leave, yeah. But Phoebe's like, he's killed before, you know, call the cops, check it out, you know, whatever. And then she says, you know, that she has visions of people she's supposed to help, which was greeted with a lovely little eye roll from Tanya, who continues to walk for the door. And Phoebe says that she's his next victim, that it's not a coincidence they met, because she's supposed to see her, find her, and save her. Mm-hmm. And we cut to Quake, and hey, look, there's that lady in the tan jacket and floral skirt.
Yeah.
Hi, lady. That's what I wrote in my notes, and I love it. Piper is in the kitchen. She's in a long-sleeve white shirt and has a long white baking apron on.
Yeah.
For some reason.
And she's talking to Phoebe on the phone.
Yeah. And there's many people coming and going, and a man with a delivery of romaine lettuce is directed to fridge 3, because, you know, why not? And she's wondering, talking to Phoebe on the phone, wondering why she took Tanya to the house. And I love the line.
Complains. It's like, couldn't you have found me someone who knows how to make a decent Bernaise sauce?
Yes.
My kitchen is falling apart here.
My kitchen is collapsing. It was a very funny line, and I liked it.
I think that's why I fixated on a Bernaise sauce.
Maybe. Could be.
From the first episode.
Could be. There you go.
If anyone remembers that.
Mm-hmm. I remember. Anyway, so Martin walks in, holding a pad of paper, as she says goodbye to Phoebe and hangs up. And she starts to talk and was like, oh, you were, you know, wanting to talk to you. He interrupts her, saying that he's made a list and she'd better check it twice.
Because, oh, Santa, you've changed.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And we're not admiring your ass.
Nope.
Because you are an ass.
Yep. But he also says he'll be back after the dinner rush. And she says that she's got a family situation. And he says, so you'd like to take off, go home, take care of business? Which she nods and thanks him for understanding. He goes, no, don't thank me, because the answer is no.
Dick.
It's like, oh, you bastard.
Dick.
And then,
Dick.
Dick!
Bum, 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 bum. I wish I had a picture of a dick to show.
Oh, they're so cute.
They are the little tuskies.
Mm-hmm. D-I-K, D-I-K. Dick. Look it up. Make sure you spell it right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he says the answer's no, and she comes back with a lovely line. And we're finally, she's starting to get that, like, I'm gonna do this.
She's so frustrated, she's breaking.
Yeah. She goes, what part of family situation did you not understand? Are you insane? No one person can do all of this. How do you expect me to do it all alone?
He's like, 'cause I know you will.
Mm-hmm. She's like, what? He says, why spend money on more employees when I know you'll do it? And you won't complain. I got a bargain. All the work for half the price. And he stops for half a second before saying, I don't know why I said that. To which, to her credit, she's like, too late. I quit. You know,
Done. Bye.
Done. You don't deserve
I'm
me. That's the best line. You don't deserve me.
Yeah.
I quit.
And she is right.
Mm-hmm. But too bad he won't remember that come 8 p.m.
Yep.
Because, I like it when Piper gets, forceful and assertive. It's nice. It doesn't happen very often in these early episodes.
Oh, my note here is, Martin may be a douche, but he's more Armani than Roger.
Yes. And then we cut to Buckland, and Prue walks toward her office, and Creepthroat comes around the corner behind her. And she gets to her office, and Andy's there. And they say hello, as you do. And we see Creepthroat listen for a moment before turning around and walking the other way.
Witnesses.
Yeah. And so inside the office, Prue apologizes because her meeting ran late.
Because it's 6:25.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably going to be there around 6.
Yeah.
Or something.
And he says that her assistant said he could wait in the office, and she offers him something to drink. And we get a cute back and forth where, he says, I'm fine, meaning, he doesn't need a drink. He says, how are you? To which she replies, a nervous wreck.
You?
Heart's pounding like a sledgehammer. And the way he says it was just great. Like, I love the facial acting.
It was a nervous chuckle kind of thing.
Yeah, I love the facial acting that went into those lines. And Prue asks how well he thinks he knows her, to which we get a lovely line, kind of exposition time, of, I know your fondness for Twizzlers, how you can't stand it when people talk at the previews, how you like to argue to win, and how you pick your cuticles when you're nervous.
Because, at that moment, she is, in fact, picking her cuticles.
And she abruptly stops when she realizes she's doing it, as you do.
Yeah.
When someone points out something, you're just like, oh, I should stop doing that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then he says that he'd love to start seeing her again, and that he wishes that she could trust him enough to tell him whatever she's afraid of.
Well, thank goodness he came to her office.
Yeah, because that's why she wanted to see him. And decides that instead of telling him, she's just going to show him. And she points to, this pyramid thing, like a paperweight, I guess, that's on her desk, and tells him to watch. And then she moves it with her power. And he jumps out of the chair with, a nervous laugh and asks, what was that? And she says that it was her secret.
Me.
Yeah. That she moved it with her mind. And he immediately asks if she's telekinetic. Because apparently that's a word he knows.
Well,
he does know some stuff.
He's good on paranormal definitions.
Yeah.
As we've established this entire fucking series.
Yeah. So she initially says yes, but then goes on to elaborate that she's a witch. And he laughs and is like, a what? And then we get exposition time for the third time this episode, which is why I think it might be a new catchphrase, at least for this episode. And she says that she's a good witch, that she never wanted her powers, but she didn't, even find out about them until right around the time she ran into him again. And says, those times I disappeared, or would show up at a crime scene with no logical explanation, this is why I wanted to tell you, but I couldn't tell you, I couldn't tell anyone. And he's speechless, because... Yeah, why wouldn't you be?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And she asks if he's okay, and he rightfully says he doesn't know. That of all of the things she was hiding, this was nowhere on the list.
Because why would it be?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily think that you're lying about being a witch. This would be the thing. And then, of course, he asks if Piper and Phoebe are also witches, and she says that they are.
They inherited it from Mom and Grams.
Yeah.
And he immediately goes to, so you're kids.
Yeah, if you have kids, they have powers. And she says, well, if they're girls, they will. Which sets up future things. He says that it's quite a secret she's been hiding and asked if it's something that she can get rid of.
No, Andy, no.
Yeah.
But Andy, that is not the first thing you should say.
No, but I understand why he asked it.
Well,
because when she found out she was a witch, what's the first thing she asked for? Was, can't we get rid of it? Yeah, exactly. So it's more of a, like, can you get rid of it?
Well, when it's given to you, I understand the get rid of it thing. But if it's someone else telling you that this is how they are, the first thing you should say is not, can you get rid of it?
Well, but it wasn't the first thing. Technically,
it
the
wasn't-
first thing.
It wasn't the first thing, but it was mostly responses to things she'd been explaining. It wasn't an unprompted question.
True. But, you know, to be fair, it wasn't the first thing he asked. Because the first thing he asked was if her sisters were also witches. And then he asked what if her kids, if she has kids. So, it was the third thing that he asked. So,
You just shouldn't say that.
I know, but we had to get the answer. Because we had to learn that Prue has come to accept the fact that she can't change who she is. And if he hadn't asked that question, we wouldn't have gotten that answer from her. But she wonders if he can accept it, and he says that he honestly doesn't know. And we cut to the manor, because can't stay in one place too long.
Nope.
And, you know, we can't be in this tense situation anymore. So, back in the manor, Piper walks in to what I lovingly am calling the wicker room, carrying a tray with tea on it. And Phoebe is sitting in the chair, and Tanya's on the love seat, looking at a large, thin book that looks to have no cover whatsoever. I took a picture of it. That will also be up on the website.
It's not the Book of Shadows.
Because, thank you to IMDb Trivia, the real Book of Shadows prop was being repaired during the filming of this episode. So Tanya is flipping through the pages of a different book, and the cameras were simply avoiding showing the book's cover to try and hide that fact. But they did not do a very good job,
Nope.
seeing as how thin the book was that she was holding.
Yeah. Pad that shit.
Yeah, like, seriously, I understand that you only had the one book. I totally get that. But, dude, like, it was so thin. Phoebe asks if Prue talked to Andy, and Piper says that she didn't say. And then Piper asks Tanya if she found anything in the Book of Shadows, but Tanya says she doesn't recognize anything, which is when I have my little note of it not being the Book of Shadows, which, if you were paying attention, you could totally tell that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fucking obvious.
Absolutely. And Piper mentions that Andy said that the third victim was a professor at Stanford, and wonders what the link between the victims is, and Phoebe says that it might have something to do with biogenetics, because that's what they were working on. And we get Piper saying, a professor, a geneticist, a lab technician, and Tanya chimes in with, and a sandwich girl? Like,
Yep.
do you really think he's after me? And Phoebe comes back with, uh-oh, truth spell. Like, again.
Why
But
say
no.
that?
No, but here's the thing of, do you really think he's after me? Uh-oh, truth spell. And then she doesn't say anything else. She touches
she
her
touches
leg.
Tanya and then gets a vision.
Right, and gets a premonition of Tanya holding a baby. And then says, Piper, we need milk. Kitchen. That did not answer
No, it didn't.
the question.
No, it didn't.
At all. So, what? Yeah. But then I do enjoy that when they walk into the kitchen, Phoebe says she's carrying, and Piper says, carrying what? To which she answers, a baby. She's pregnant. And Piper comes back like, oh.
Second time in this episode.
Yeah. And she starts to head back in the other room, but Phoebe stops her and tells her that Tanya doesn't know yet. Piper comes back with, what do we do? What do we tell her? I mean, we protect
people.
We don't do prenatal. It was funny. It was very funny. But Phoebe's like, no, this is not the kind of information she needs right now, especially from people that she just met who are telling her that some three-eyed demon wants to suck the life out of her. And that's when
She realizes
that it's not Tanya that he wants, that it's her baby.
And here's where I started hating the episode.
Okay.
Because you have, ostensibly, 3 people that we've seen who have been attacked by this guy.
Mm-hmm.
2 guys and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 guys are both scientists. The woman is pregnant, and that's what her contribution to this entire plot is. That her baby will be important.
Yep.
And I hate it.
Yeah. No, I totally
The
get that.
scientists get to do something active. They're publishing papers about important scientific things. They're contributing to the vaccine. What is she doing? Her baby does the shit, not her.
Mm-hmm.
I
No, I
hate
totally
it.
get that. I totally understand
There
that
are
annoyance.
ways you could make it about how, oh, maybe in the future she goes back to school. Or, you know, like, there's, like, components to vaccines that you can't synthesize. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe she has a rare antibody or some shit.
I totally get that.
You don't have to make it about how her kid does all of the work.
Especially since we learned that her
It's a
child
boy.
is going to be a boy. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Tell us how you really feel.
I hate it.
No, I totally get what you're saying with that. I totally understand that. It makes total sense of your annoyance and your hatred. I get it. But, you know...
I wrote 3 people, 2 men scientists, 1 woman sandwich pregnant. Hate!
Nice. I understand your hatred. I totally get it. And I agree with you that, you know, it could have been so much better than it was. So we get Phoebe realizing that he wants the baby, and Piper asks how he would know that she's pregnant.
And Phoebe's like, maybe he can see the future. Something clicks in her head. She goes, or he's from it.
Yeah. And Piper's all like, excuse me? Which isn't really a question, but Phoebe replies, the button, which was...
Well, it's an answer.
It is. And she says, yeah, the police found a button by one of the last victims that was made out of some funky metal that they'd never seen. To which Piper replies, rewind? Which was totally a 90s thing. Like...
Be kind. Rewind.
Yeah, well, and like, I remember when I was in school being like, wait, rewind? Because, like, if you didn't hear someone say something, like, now we just go, wait, can you repeat that? But back in the 90s, it was, wait, rewind? It was just a thing. It was, you know.
Yeah.
And then we get exposition time, where Phoebe says, there's a button that's not supposed to exist, a demon in the book of that the book of
Shadow says doesn't exist, and a baby that no one knows exists.
Exactly. So it's, you know, do you have a better explanation? Which was a question, to which Piper replies, even if you're right, how do we find him? So they answered a question with a question instead of answering. Just saying. That'll come back again. And Phoebe says that he wants Tanya, so he'll find us. And Piper's like, well, he doesn't know where we are. And Phoebe's like, well, but he found Tanya at Buckland's, and he saw me there with Prue. And we cut to Buckland with no exterior shot, which I think is a first. And Prue is sitting at her desk, staring into the void again.
That was an exterior shot. They show people leaving.
No.
At nighttime.
Nope, not this one.
I thought they did.
Nope, that was the last one.
Was it?
Yep.
Okay. Meh.
Because I wrote it down in my notes that there was no exterior shot. Because the last time, because now it's like way late.
No, it's just after 6.
I don't know, but there was no exterior shot. Prue is sitting at her desk, staring out into the void again. And Hannah's in the doorway, and she's trying to be sweet again, you know. Last one out gets the lights, I'm going home, lock up when you leave. And Prue's like, okay, sure, whatever, you know. And Hannah's like trying to be like, oh, what I said earlier. She goes, now's not a good time. And Hannah says, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. To which Prue replies, but you wouldn't really mean that, would you? And Hannah like...
No.
Yeah, she like scoffs and wrinkles her face with like a no. And then realizes what she says and leaves. And it was just funny. We cut to just outside Prue's office. Hannah goes into the elevator, and as soon as she's on and the door begins to close, Creepthroat rocks around the corner and heads for Prue's office. And we get a commercial break.
As you do.
As you do. Come back from the commercial, we're still at Buckland. We're back in Prue's office. We get an insert shot of the clock saying that it's 6:15, which again, I had to ask my mother what it said. Thanks, Mom. Shout out to the mom. Mine, not yours.
Yeah, no.
No. And Prue looks like she's getting ready to leave when Creepthroat walks in and asks if she's Miss Halliwell? Miss Prue Halliwell? And she says that she is, and then asks if they had an appointment. And he replies that they did not, but that he's looking for someone and believes she can help him. To which she replies, I find objects, not people.
She doesn't find objects, she identifies them.
Yeah, well, you know.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? He says she might know the woman that he's looking for because he saw the two of them talking by the elevators, and basically describes Phoebe saying she's petite with brown hair. Because, you know, that's the only way to describe 90% of the people in this show. Oh, you alright, Blue?
He's fine.
Yeah. But Prue says that she doesn't remember, and he asks if she's sure. Somehow, she's able to not answer the question, but instead ask one of her own. She asks what he wants with her. Why can she dodge the question and ask another question instead? I don't understand. A la convenience, because it's the only reasoning that makes sense. But she asks what he wants with her, and he responds that she's hiding the woman he was sent back to kill. The fact that he says this out loud surprises him, but Prue gives him no time to think before asking, sent back from where? And he replies, the future.
I love his struggle with all of this. Like, he's clearly trying not to say anything and totally failing, and it's making him seem like he is going to vomit.
Mm-hmm. So he replies the future and asks what she's doing, and she asks why he wants to kill Tanya. Which again, she answered a question with a question, which shouldn't be possible, but a la convenience, as you do. And Creepthroat says he doesn't want Tanya, that he wants what's inside her, and then is really starting to freak out that he can't not tell her the truth. Prue asks why he killed the others, and he says they're all pieces of the vaccine, and then he yells, "Stop this!" and lunges for her. But she uses her power to push the desk up against him and runs outside. And then, after a moment, he follows her because she didn't, actually knock him out or anything. And then we cut to the kitchen in the manor. Piper's trying to get Prue on the phone, but the answering machine at Buckland picks up. So Piper hangs up, saying that there's no answer. Since it's after 5, it's going straight to voicemail. So Phoebe tells her that she has to go to Buckland and that she has to go alone. Because if they bring Tanya with and he's there, it's like bringing the feast to the lion, which was an interesting turn of phrase, and that she can't stay in the manor by herself. To which I wondered, why are they leaving her all alone in the other room? But, maybe that's just a me thought question-wise.
Probably.
So Piper says they need Phoebe, to which Phoebe replies that, and this was the quote of, "I can't always be the power of 3." Which was an interesting way...
I thought she said it.
No, I'm fairly certain she said I. It was an interesting way of phrasing that.
It sounded like she said I, but that can't have been the case.
That's what she said. I can't always be the power of 3. I don't know. But, so Piper asks what she'll do if he comes to the house, to which Phoebe replies, "We'll be in the attic with the Book of Shadows." The fuck is that gonna do, Phoebe? I mean, seriously.
There's probably a spell in there to do something.
Yeah, I don't know. But, so Piper tells her to be careful, and Phoebe returns the sentiment, and they hug, and we cut back to Buckland. And this is where my freeze frame comes into effect again. Prue is running down the stairs as fast as she can. And a little freeze frame action shows that Shannon is wearing gym shoes instead of the heels that she'd been wearing earlier.
But when we see her feet, and with the sound, she's wearing heels.
Yeah. But I wrote in my notes...
Funky heels.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, since we haven't seen her feet since she was in the kitchen of the manor, she may have changed shoes at the office. Until we see a shot of her wearing different shoes, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Which that benefit of the doubt is shattered in a few moments.
Yes.
Just saying. So, she's running down the stairs as fast as she can, and Creepthroat is following at a slightly slower pace. Because reasons, I guess.
As she gets to the bottom of the staircase, there is a door with a key code lock.
Yeah. Authorized personnel only.
She's in an auction house. She works there. She would definitely be authorized personnel.
Yes, but she might not know the key code for storage. I understand that, because it looks like it's a big storage room.
I feel like she would, though.
But
if she needs to go down and check something, they don't want to have to bring it all the way up there. Granted, they have done that the entire series. But still, you'd think you might let the person who identifies the fucking stuff have access to the fucking stuff.
Yeah, see, I didn't have a problem with the fact that she didn't know the passcode. Because, whatever. My annoyance was that she flings the door wide open, runs into the room, but then doesn't bother to close the door.
Nope. Well, I mean, granted, she flung it open with her powers, so the lock is probably broken.
Well, yeah, but she could have at least closed the door again.
But it was the only thing at the bottom of the stairs.
Just saying, it would have given,
It was a funnel.
But it would have at least given her a second longer... whatever. But, so, Creepthroat gets to the door quite fast. He steps in the doorway and takes what I lovingly called the Secret Serviceman stance. Because if you ever see those guys in, the Secret Service, they stand with their hands in front of their dicks.
Yeah.
Hand in front of junk. It's just the way he's standing. I thought it was funny. So, he calls into the room, but not raising his voice, at all, saying he has 8.5 months to find Tanya, which is plenty of time. And we cut to Prue, who is still trying to find a good spot to stop and hide, and she decides to crouch behind a box, because, that'll work, I guess. And he starts walking into the room in the direction that she had gone, and again, still in a low volume, goes, "Yours, however, has run out." He hasn't got a care in the world, whatever, just sauntering through the boxes,
Well, he knows she's down there.
Well, yeah. But then we cut back to Prue's office. And Piper runs in, because she's gotten there. She calls for Prue as she's running in, sees the mess, focuses in on Prue's purse lying on the floor, gives a quick, "oh no," and runs back out of the office. I understand...
How does she know where to go?
No idea how she knows where to go, but I do like the fact that she sees the purse on the floor and is like, fuck, she never would have left without her purse.
Yeah.
I get that.
She might have made it out, but her purse is still here.
Yeah, so something's definitely happened. So I get that. So we cut back to the storeroom, and Creeped Out's still walking through the room, real slow.
Just taunting.
Yeah, saying that she can't hide from him forever. And Prue then gives away her position by speaking.
What's the
What's
vaccine?
the vaccine
What does
for?
it protect against?
Yeah. And he
of
laughs.
course, he laughs because he knows where she is now.
Yep. And he says that it protects against him and all other warlocks like him in the
And here's
future.
where it went from sci-fi to magic, and I don't understand why this turn was necessary. It wasn't. They've done science fiction-y things with this show before. The title is an X-Files reference.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about a vaccine. He didn't need to be a warlock.
True.
He could have said all other people like me.
True.
Now, it's against... The vaccine apparently protects against a mutant retina gene. So, genetics. Science. You didn't need to go magic on this one.
True. Very true. And I will agree with you there. I didn't understand why that was needed either, but, whatever. But if you also, the entire rest of the episode, they've been calling him a demon, and now they know he's a warlock. So,
Well, that's their internal bias.
yeah.
They assume it's to do with magic. Like they assumed with, Creeper McCreeperson.
Yes. But whatever. So he says that it protects against him and all other warlocks like him in the future, and that Tanya's child will be the one to bring together all of the elements to create the vaccine which will destroy them unless he stops him. So again, that's when we learn that the child is a boy.
And, okay, another point, and this is my deal with causal timelines in fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's already eliminated a professor who hasn't yet published a paper on the mutant retina gene, and a lab technician who has not yet done the work necessary to know how to create said vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
If the kid is supposed to bring them together, there is now no longer anyone to bring together. He has accomplished his goal. More than likely.
No.
Also,
No, because I understand where you're trying to go with that, but he hasn't published the paper yet. That doesn't mean the paper isn't written, which means it could get published after his death.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude, the lab tech, wasn't there to make the discovery, whatever, but that doesn't mean that somebody else won't make the discovery.
yes, but even discounting all of this, my problem with time travel things is that you go backward in time to change something. The reason you went backward in time does not exist anymore. It's inherently paradoxical.
Well, yeah.
And I don't get it. Which is why I understand traveling forward in time, seeing something, and then changing that, which is effectively what Phoebe's premonitions are. They're a slight jump forward in time that she can then alter, consequence-free.
Well,
Which is why I also have a problem with the Final Destination movies. Because, guess what? Person has a premonition. That should discount death. And furthermore, death doesn't fucking care when it gets to you. It'll get to you.
mm-hmm.
It will. This is a certainty. No one is immune from death. So why does death care what order you go in?
True.
It doesn't.
True. But,
Also, definitely don't show Final Destination 2 to driver's ed students. Don't. That
They
is the
did
way. Yes, they did that.
oh man. That's
Now
horrible.
they used it they tried to use it as a teaching tool to say, here's all of the shit that people did wrong. This is not all stuff you can control.
Mm-hmm.
At all. This is a scare tactic. This is the, if you have sex you will get pregnant and die.
Yes.
This is not a teaching tool.
Yes.
Also, it's extremely graphic how those people die.
Mm-hmm.
Don't show that to 15-year-olds.
Mm-mm.
Do not. They are not old enough. Not by a long shot.
Especially, isn't that a rated R movie?
Yes.
So, yeah.
So yeah.
I know. But,
I told you I have a lot of thoughts on time travel.
yes, absolutely. And, though to be fair, that not everyone dies. Captain Jack Harkness. Just saying.
No, he did die. Eventually.
Well.
It took him millions and millions of years.
Yeah, but
But he died.
did he really?
He did.
Did he really?
He did.
Did he really?
He did. And you know he did.
I still don't trust it.
Series 4.
Still don't trust it.
Well, the thing is, he died before we knew that was him.
Well, yeah.
So, he died.
But again,
So it's established as a fact that he died. It's established as a fact that he died, even if
Still
we
don't trust
didn't
it.
know it was him.
I still don't trust it.
Well, you can go suck on a corn cob.
Okay. Do you have a line around?
No, but I have some bananas.
I'll take a banana.
Yeah, just put a condom on it first.
Ew.
What, you don't have flavored ones?
Oh.
Okay.
This went in a direction. Don't know what direction it went in, but it went in one. Let's back it up back to the episode.
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
Beep, 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 beep. No?
Yeah, you're a truck.
So, anyway. So he finds Prue, picks her up by her neck, just by the throat, and we get a lovely shot of her feet being held up off the ground, and hey look! She's back in those heels! Where'd the gym shoes go that she was wearing to run down the stairs? A la convenience. And a real a la convenience, just as his third eye opens up,
Piper
runs
saunters in.
Yeah.
Because, a la convenience, she knew where to find Prue.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming that she just kind of ran down the stairs and was like, oh look, the authorized personnel only door is wide fucking open. Maybe she's in there. You know? So I yes, it's an absolute a la convenience, but I'll give them that
Yeah.
one. You know. For me, it's the fact that she gets there just in time.
And she
And then-
very forcefully freezes the guy and picks up a handy-dandy crowbar off of some crate.
Yeah, she like saunters over
Says, need a hand?
and like loosens his grip with the crowbar. It was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Piper then's like, he's not after Tanya, he's after her baby. And she's like, I know, truth spell. Which was funny.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was funny.
And he does a good job of, staying still.
Mm-hmm. And, she asks where Phoebe is, and Piper says she's at home protecting Tanya, and then we get the cute sister moment where...
Them arguing about who's gonna off this warlock.
Yeah, Prue tells Piper to whack him, which I'm like, is Phoebe rubbing off on her? Because remember...
I figured it was probably, she's got a crowbar, whack him in the back of the head.
No, I get that, but, the phrase of whack him, because remember back in the pilot when
Phoebe
says
some
whack
girl
him.
got whacked.
Yeah, you put in New York too long. It was, that, like a little mini callback to that. But Piper's like, no, and throws the crowbar to Prue, and then asks why she can't move him. To which she says, where would I move him to? He's from the future. What the fuck does that even mean?
It doesn't.
You'd move him into something sharp, whack him against the wall a couple times, something. I don't know. You whack him by freezing, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
But whatever. Piper says that he's going to unfreeze. They have a bit of back and forth where they're trying to get each other to whack him with the crowbar. And they keep
both
moving
fight
the crowbar
over the
between the two of them. Bless you, Blue. They're moving the crowbar between the two of them, and he unfreezes and turns around.
And they both freak out.
Yeah.
And together shove said crowbar into his third eye.
Because a la convenience, they were both holding it at that moment,
And he stumbles back, pulls it out. We see a mysterious blue light emanate from that third eye.
Yep.
And he falls over dead.
Yep. And then a big blue CGI tornado looking thing.
All hail the glow tornado.
Comes out and sucks him up. And Prue has the lovely line, I love it when they clean up after themselves.
And then fixes her hair.
Yeah. But I want to know if that was meant to be an homage to Buffy, because I don't know, because I know that Buffy used that same tactic, but I can't remember.
Use it that early?
Yeah, I can't remember if that was used in second year Buffy or not. I don't know. I honestly don't remember. But then we get a nighttime skyline shot, and then see Andy walking up to his apartment.
Where Prue is waiting for him.
Yep, and he's holding a white canvas bag of some kind. Prue has now added a long gray wool jacket to her outfit, as you do. And so she's standing at his door, and she says that she needs to know how he feels about her being a witch. And he says he's going to need more time, but she says she needs to know before 8. Because, he doesn't question that at all for some reason, but whatever. He invites her to talk inside, and she says that, she literally goes that she can't go inside because then they'll have drinks, there'll be small talk, and precious minutes will pass. That she needs an answer now. And because he's being pressured to answer, he says he doesn't think he can accept it, but that there's nothing wrong with it, it's just not a future that he envisioned having. And then a clock chimes, and it's 8 o'clock.
Because, a la convenience, she got her answer at 7:59:59.
Yeah, because, just a second ago, she was talking about precious minutes passing, and all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock. What? But, whatever. A la convenience. We'll give it to him. Fine. He shakes his head like he's been in a daze and asks what they were just talking about. And he's like, you don't remember? He goes, honestly, no. Which I thought was funny, because now the true spell's worn off, and he still says honestly.
And she comes with the super suspicious line of,
you don't remember anything you've said to me in the last 24 hours?
Wouldn't that raise more questions?
Yeah, a little bit. But he does say, no, it's really weird. Which, I guess is an okay response. But then asks her if she wants to come inside, and a single tear escapes her eye, and she wipes it away. It's like, no, I have to go. And she kisses him and says goodbye, walks around the corner, leans against the wall, and lets herself be sad.
And I think the song on Netflix is the song that plays at this. I think it's the same needle drop.
Is it? Okay, I don't know.
I feel like it is because it doesn't stand out to me, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch it at all on Netflix this time, so. But then we cut to Quake.
Phoebe and Piper are sitting at a table, chatting.
Yep, and a waiter carrying a tray passes by.
Phoebe
and
tries to hail
flag him down, to no avail.
He is not responding to hails.
Nope. And she says, what good is saving the future if I can't get a glass of water in the present? Which was kind of funny.
But also, like, those two things are not connected.
Yeah, no, not at all, but still kind of funny. And Piper says, speaking of the future, where'd Tanya go? To which Phoebe replies that she went to the bathroom because she has morning sickness.
But she thinks it's the
halibut. Which was funny. And then Piper's like, great, she'll probably sue the restaurant for food poisoning. Will this day never end?
Cue Martin walking up.
He walks up a moment later, because Phoebe says...
Oh, right, yeah.
It just did. It's 8:20. The spell is over. The world is a safer place. So this is what I have in my notes after that. So what this means is that Tanya will come to from the spell in the bathroom, possibly throwing up, with a burn on her forehead, and have no idea where she is or why. And we don't see her again for the rest of the episode or the entire fucking series.
Nope.
Never see her again. Never hear from her again. Not a clue. And then Martin walks up to the table with the line of, Piper, I see you sitting. What's wrong with this picture? And she's like, you don't remember? He goes, remember what? I need you in the kitchen pronto. We're down a sous chef. And he leaves. And Piper's like, I don't believe it. I finally stood up for myself and quit, and he doesn't even remember. And then Piper, of course, wonders why they remember, even though no one else does. And Phoebe says that it's truth or consequences. It's the Wiccan rule that because Prue cast a spell for personal gain, now they have to deal with the fallout.
Those are
but
some
that's not true.
Well, it's not true. And those are some damn easy consequences.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But it's not true. The reason that they remember...
I should think a worse consequence would be if they don't remember the answer. Like,
yeah.
If it didn't matter in the long run for them either.
Yeah.
If they're doomed to repeat this 24-hour cycle.
Yes.
Again. And again. And again.
Groundhog Day?
Well, except it wouldn't be the same 24-hour cycle.
No.
It would just be them forgetting what they said to everyone else.
Yeah. But it's not true, because if you go back and look at that spell, it's whoever's in the house will hear the truths told, and after 24 hours, it'll be forgotten. So because the three of them were in the house, the three of them remember.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's kind of vague. It's kind of really vague.
True. But, I mean, if Prue was going to remember, why would they not realize that since they were in the house, they would also remember?
I don't know.
But then again, they also don't remember the fact that Tanya won't have a fucking clue what's going on, and she's been in the bathroom and won't have a clue. So, they're not really thinking things through very well. But then we get a cute sister moment, where Piper's like, I'll be right back. I need to remind Martin of something.
And she stands up and says, I need to remind Martin of something.
Yeah. And Phoebe comes with the best line delivery of, ooh, you go, girl.
Phoebe is me.
This is great.
Phoebe is me.
And then Piper walks into the kitchen and is like, Martin, we need to talk. And he throws an apron at her with an, excuse you? And then we have the lovely, lovely paragraph, exposition time kind of moment.
Yeah.
Where it's, I cannot, no, I will not do everything by myself anymore. I need help. Your restaurant needs help. You need another manager, sous chef, hostess, and an extra busboy on the weekends. If you will not agree to hire these people, then tell me now and I'll quit. And he replies, what took you so long? All you had to do was ask.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
For as happy as he was in the previous scene, to not have to pay a whole bunch more people for what Piper will do, he gives up.
Super quick. Yeah, super quick.
Weirdly quick.
Super quick. Though I do like the next little moment. She's like, really? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And he's like, but I just... She throws the apron at him and is like, it's my night off. Which was great. And then she walks toward the door, pushes it open, and hits Leo in the face.
That was adorable.
And he's added a plaid shirt to his outfit.
Oh, wait,
Because,
No, when Piper sasses Martin,
yeah,
the cook behind him, the little blonde guy,
yeah,
is clearly so happy to see him finally get his ass handed to him.
Nice, I missed that.
When she throws the apron back at him and says, it's mine and off, the cook is like, yeah.
Nice, I missed that. Because I remembered what was coming next and I was excited for it. So, she hits Leo in the face with the door. And is like, I'm so sorry, are you okay? And he goes, yeah, just surprised, And she asks what he's doing there. And he says that he wanted to see her, and he goes, I have this really strange feeling that I did something that I should apologize for. Did I? And she's like, no, not at all.
Which is
Definitely
interesting,
not.
because no one else remembers
But because
anything.
But because we learn later with him,
I know,
there
I know.
there are reasons
I know,
I'm
but
assuming.
right now, it's just really interesting, because, like, then you can get into the theory of, does he actually remember and knows he's not supposed to? How was he tipped off to that he wasn't supposed to remember?
Yeah.
Or that there was supposed to be a truth thingy. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Was he aware, or was it just that it didn't completely take?
I don't know.
I want to know. I want to know.
All right. But yeah, so she says no, and asks to buy him a drink, and he gives this cute little smiling shrug, which I'm guessing is supposed to mean sure, and they walk off. And then we get, like, the most anticlimactic last scene
Yep.
of an entire episode.
Prue, clearly fresh from crying,
Yeah.
walks over to the table where Phoebe is.
Hey.
Hi.
Phoebe's
Phoebe's like, how'd it go?
not well. Oh, I'm so sorry. I cast a spell for an answer and I got it, even if it wasn't the one I wanted. And then they hug.
Sister hugs are good.
Yeah.
I like sister hugs.
Yeah, and I get it. I understand, like, they're trying to be like, I got an answer I didn't really want. But here's my thing, right? You gave him less than 24 hours to process this whole thing.
In fact, she told him at roughly 5:30 and had to get an answer by 8.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
Yeah. Like,
Of course he's not going to process that. But granted, like, that's not entirely her fault. That was just how the timetable ended up working out.
no, I get that. I totally get that. However,
It wasn't technically a hard no.
it was if you're forcing me to answer, then
Yes.
no. Because, whatever. Personally, I think that even under a truth spell, if he was being forced to give an answer, the answer should have been, I might be able to accept it, but it'll take more than 2 hours.
Yeah.
So ask me again in a week. I really don't think, I personally, because I know how
This plays out.
this plays out in the end, I really don't think that he would have been like, if you're forcing me to answer, I'm just going to say no. Like, that doesn't
Well, he didn't
really...
say outright no. He said, I don't think I can.
Yeah, but, like...
And at that time, that would make sense.
I guess so, but I don't know.
Like, it's been sprung on him. There's all of this collateral or related issues with that, because now he knows that not only was Prue keeping a secret from him, Piper and Phoebe have been keeping secrets from him. Big secrets. Secrets that relate to stuff he does. And it takes processing time. So if she needs to have him accept it right then and there, be like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't know.
Blue, do you think you could accept it?
Can you accept that I'm a witch, Blue?
Blue,
Can you?
he loves you for you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'm
I love him for him, too.
home. Thank you.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. So, we have come to the end of the episode, which means it's time for scoring.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Sure. Well, okay. Thinking back on this, before we went into our in-depth, I would have given it an 8, but given the whole Tanya's role in this thing, I'm going to downgrade it to a 6.5 out of 10 cable knit tube tops.
All right. And see, I personally am giving this 9 out of 10 passionate kisses. Because I love this episode, because it is the first time that we get Piper and Leo kissing, even if he doesn't remember it. And we get super sassy Piper standing up for herself. It did lose a point because Prue is being a bit of a moron. I mean, when you give someone a bombshell like that and demand an answer on something that's going to change their life, you can't be surprised when you don't get a positive response.
Correct.
So, that's where it lost a point for me. But this is one of my favorite episodes because we get that kiss that's under a truth spell, not a love spell. And so, therefore, you know that it's a kiss that should actually happen.
Yes. And it was very convenient that Leo was not there for the love spell, because
Yeah.
shit probably would have happened.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
Outfit of the day?
Well, obviously, it's the cable knit tube top.
Yes.
Sweater set.
Absolutely. The cropped up cable knit outfit for Prue. Totally my fave. Piper, I love the blue, purple, fuzzy sweater thing that she had from that first scene. Well, technically, I guess it was the second scene, the kitchen scene. And then with Phoebe, I liked the black top with the white pants and the belt and the red overshirt thing that she's basically been wearing all day. I just like that one a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, score has been given.
Yes.
Outfits have been given. It is now time
For my daily dose
for
of
a
embarrassment.
12-year-old Kendra spell. Oh yeah.
Oh, I misspelled deliverance.
You were 12.
I know. Okay, so this is a deliverance spell. Deliverance is spelled with 3 E's and no A's. We mortal men all cower in fear, as demons come and keep us near. Let witches come and save us all, so then we trust and them we call. Yeah.
Hey, again with the logic of you were 12.
And I wanted it to sound pretty.
Yeah.
Thank you for kisses. Thank you for kisses.
Okay, I need to say the last bit of the podcast now. So you need to start licking me so I can say it. Okay?
Good boy.
Okay, thanks. So, as always, you can email us at charmchats@gmail.com, or you can get us on Twitter at charmchatspod. You can find
Our
us...
Tumblr is also CharmChatsPod.
Yep.
We have an Instagram, a Snapchat, and a Patreon,
And Facebook,
and Facebook.
which are all Charm Chats.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, our Patreon, if you, have the means,
Mm-hmm.
if you would like to help us
have
out.
perks.
Yeah, there are perks. There will be more perks added if people actually decide to be awesome and donate. And
Yes, because podcasting is not a free business.
no, it really isn't.
And we don't want, profit or anything.
No,
We want to be able to keep doing this.
yeah, literally all the money that we would be getting from Patreon would help to pay for bandwidth hosting and stuff like that. So if you want to help keep our website up and running and keep the episodes coming in on iTunes and stuff like that, just head on over to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/charmchats. And just, even $1 a month would be eternally helpful. And we will shout your name into the sky as thanks.
Yes.
But that's it for us today. Right, Blue? Right? He doesn't care. All right. Bye.
Bye!
Phoebe, Piper, and Blue, we've got evil to say and some potions to brew. So we'll see where it's at next week with Ken